I will die on that hill.
I absolutely love Miley Cyrus.
You have failed this. Love this shit.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Call Guys podcast. I'm Gunner, also known as Chico Noise, three-time podcast host. I still can't get used to that one. Chicago dog fanatic. And guess what? We are one episode away from episode 20.
Woo!
To the fireworks and the confetti. 20 episodes coming up here soon. This is episode 19. With me, as always, laughing at me for making mistakes, is my good friend Colton Keel, or as I like to call him, Juan Keel 43, and our special guest for episode 19, the Murdnerds.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Great.
Doing?
Oh, they're on a roll.
Can we
tonight,
talk about?
boys.
Can we talk about Chicago dogs more? I want a
Yeah,
Chicago dog.
Yeah. What? So, like, are you like the official connoisseur of Chicago dogs,
listen.
what do you put on your Chicago dog?
Everything. What do you mean? You don't take anything off a Chicago dog?
Dude,
Well,
listen.
I'm just trying to make sure.
Nathan's all beef hot dog, ketchup, mustard, relish,
Of
pickled
course, it's
spirit,
Nathan's.
diced onions, sport peppers, and celery salt. And a poppy
On
seed
a
bun.
poppy seed
I was
bun.
gonna say you gotta have the poppy seed bun.
That is a Chicago
So
dog.
good. There was this place in Wheatfield, Indiana called the Chubby Puppy. I think they're closed now. Unfortunately, they closed this year.
The
What?
chubby,
Chubby
puppy.
puppy.
Right. And in
Jeremy looked at me
Wheatfield,
like,
like
"Huh?"
so random, but that place, they had the best Chicago dogs. It was really good.
And they're closed, so we can't enjoy them.
I know. I think they might have a food truck.
What's the place in Syracuse, Dad?
Is that Pete's? I think it's
No.
Pete's.
Is it Pete's? I don't know. The place right up there on.
Yeah,
the
I've
main-
heard about
main
I've heard
drive.
about good Chicago dogs in Syracuse.
No, the best Chicago dogs ever
Chicago.
is in a little food cart outside of Soldier Field. And the best time to get them is after you're in there for 2.5
Drunk.
hours drinking craft beer from every distributor that in the face of the earth, and you can barely walk. And that is the best Chicago dog ever.
The drunken Chicago dog.
Yeah,
Oh,
can't
my
deny that.
God. Oh, so good.
Yeah, for sure. Colton, have you ever had a Chicago dog?
Yeah, I've had Chicago
authentic.
dogs.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was gonna say you're like asking what the.
Well, yeah,
what's
you
on
asked
your
a weird
Chicago dog.
question.
No, I didn't ask a weird question. I personally don't put ketchup on it. I don't like ketchup on it. No ketchup.
Oh,
Doesn't
It's a
need
Chicago
ketchup.
dog, man.
It doesn't
You
need
put everything-
ketchup.
you
It
put
doesn't
everything
need
on there.
ketchup. Doesn't need
everything that
ketchup.
you eat with your hands needs ketchup,
Yeah.
aside from pizza, I guess.
No,
But it has
I,
tomato sauce.
I don't put
What?
I don't put ketchup on my brats. I only do mustard. And most of the time on
Exactly.
hot dogs, I only do mustard too.
Oh,
I don't put a
well,
brat in a bun. I just cut it up and eat it like a child eating a hot dog, and I dip it in ketchup. Don't I? Yeah, you fed us brats that night, Jeremy,
I
for
did.
Camp Murdnerds.
I did.
That fucker was.
We did
spicy.
brats, and what else did we do? Nathan hot dogs. We did
That's right.
Nathan's hot dogs.
The best hot dogs. Nathan's,
Yeah,
we're
we-
looking for a sponsor. If you want to sponsor the Call Guys
Dude.
podcast,
You know, I would go
Yeah.
after sponsors for Coors Light and Mountain Dew, but I think I would go hard for a Nathan's hot dog.
go hard.
I'd go hard.
As Colton would say, I would eat an 8-pack of hot dogs every episode if you would sponsor us.
I do it with a smile on my face
That's
too.
You-
right.
you
that's
know it.
right. Just slowly eating hot dogs.
You don't like Chicago dogs, do you?
I don't like relish. I don't like onions. I don't really like peppers. I don't know what the hell pickle salt is or whatever.
Oh,
that is.
celery salt?
Celery salt. Don't know what
You
that
never
is.
cooked with it?
Nope. I just like chili dogs.
Hey,
Those are
you
good
know
too.
what?
I
Chili
mean,
cheese dog.
That's my shit. Or a cold hot dog.
Okay, so we went on an adventure.
Yes.
We went on an adventure one time where we went and looking for the best chili cheese dog ever, and we rode everywhere. And I'm going to tell you right now, still the best chili cheese dog is in a little booth at Triton High School out by the little league fields. Those are still the best chili cheese dogs.
That's got to be nostalgia.
Oh, I was talking to somebody about chili dogs the other day, and I said it's nothing is better than a ballpark like at Triton High School or Triton at the little ball fields. They had the best chili cheese dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know why.
That's the serotonin in your brain from when you were playing.
Oh, listen,
Like it's
they're just
triggering
that-
it.
They're just that good. I bet you I can go eat one right now and just be just as happy.
Mm-hmm.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
I was
I'm
everywhere.
hungry now.
As Colton, once again, I would die on that hill.
Die on that hill. I'd go hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. After listening to the last Murdnerd episode, which is technically, what is this, 2 weeks ago when this one's
Yeah.
going to air?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a crazy story.
Which one was it? The
Catherine Knight.
murder of John Price. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
She's a
All
doozy,
the,
man.
all
Yeah.
I
I
couldn't help
didn't
but
even
not
realize
laugh.
it.
But that's the funny part is that you just said it the first time like it wasn't any big deal. Like we were all mature adults and you totally forgot your audience who's around you.
Yeah.
And I think
my-
that's what made it better.
Yeah. He they couldn't handle it.
I had to leave the room.
He
I
literally
left
walked
the
away,
room.
almost
I
spit his water
heard.
out all over all of this expensive equipment.
Oh my gosh.
I hear boning and I'm just like, I'm a 13-year-old boy. You should know this.
Oh boy.
So, like I did also mention in the intro, we are moving on to episode 20. And that leads me to my first question. Just for the Murdnerds, what episode are you guys on? And do you have anything planned for 30, 40, 50, any big things? Or are you just going to keep doing stories?
We don't have any immediate plans for anything specifically. So 30 already happened and we announced that it was 30
Yeah.
and hurrah.
Yeah.
And that's all we did. 50, I think we'll probably start talking about 50 here soon and try and plan something special
Yeah.
for it. What do you think?
I haven't thought about it.
We
Okay.
didn't plan. Yeah. How many episodes did you say that they had ready?
They have their
Oh,
first
oh,
50.
yeah.
Right,
We're up
right. We
to-
had like
we're up to like 34.
I don't even
35
think we had
planned.
6 ready. We just like dove in head first
Yeah.
into the shallow end.
We just build the plane as we fly it.
Here we are.
But
Okay,
you guys have
okay.
special plans for 30 and 50.
We do. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's why we started
Yeah.
like actually
He was talking
scheduling
to us.
into like in between, just like what's coming out, what's gonna happen, what are we watching, what can we talk about,
And this is why we talk to each other, because now we have to upstage them, obviously, for 50, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what we're doing for our 50th?
Yeah, what are you doing?
They don't listen to the
Our
call
heroes.
guys. You kidding
I know
me?
they're not listeners.
I listen to the call, guys. I'm just like 4 episodes behind.
Okay, that actually we probably haven't talked
4
about it.
weeks behind.
We're calling it the Emperor Strikes Back.
Ooh, fancy.
Our episode 50 manages to fall on the same weekend as his 50th birthday.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. So that Monday after will be, or we'll record it that week, and then it'll be the next week. But yeah, pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
The
That's what-
Emperor Strikes Back.
Yep.
I better come with my A game.
Yeah, you better. You better
Yeah.
bring some help.
Maybe I
That's
will.
crazy. Just the fact that they know when their 50th episode's going to air. That's
I
so,
have it written out
so
on this
much
planner.
planning.
Unless something was to like happen,
you have
where
the
we had to
numbers?
skip, but we could always record multiple in a
Nice.
week, like we have been doing. So just gets fun. It's fun to look forward like that. But
Yeah, we're just playing it by ear. As like
We
Camp
were rolling with
Murdnerds.
the bunches.
Camp Murdnerds, Jeremy had continuously said, like, I really want to record at the campsite. I really want to record at the campsite. And then one day we were sitting here, I'm like, why don't we do camp themed murders? And Jeremy was like, let's do it. And then it was like the next weekend we were at the campground.
yeah,
Mhm.
hey,
And that wasn't even a Murdnerds recording. You guys were recording 2SOP. And then you
Yeah.
told me about it. And I was like, hell yeah. I'm in.
And then we talked about it the next time we recorded for Murdnerds, I believe.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah.
Those were good episodes. Call Guys listeners, go check out the Murdnerds and check out their Camp Murdnerds episodes because they are really good.
I'm gonna bring it up later.
Oh, well, Colton will bring it up later. We'll talk about it later.
Oh, okay.
He's got notes.
Yeah, that's the problem, Jeremy. I've got notes. This is gonna last for days.
Oh,
I don't have
my
anywhere to
gosh.
be.
That's okay. That's okay. So on top of doing this, Colton and I have also talked about possibly doing a two-stop crossover,
Yeah.
but doing a Team Tejas and possibly a Team Boozers too. So having
Yeah.
a couple crossovers there, I think would be cool. And
For sure. I know
Um,
Logan's like super stoked about that.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, he's very excited.
Yeah.
He's like the most enthusiastic person I've never met. He's so enthusiastic. So many messages every day. I
Yeah.
can't keep up with you guys.
Yeah.
He holds shit together for sure.
Yeah, I enjoy talking with him.
It's like dead space and then like 20 messages from Logan and then dead space.
He gets us all riled up though.
Yeah,
He does. He keeps us all
Going.
connected. Yeah.
He's the mitochondria of the cell.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
Thank you. I didn't know we needed that for the Call Guys content. But yes, we needed the power cell.
You're welcome.
You can you clip that and put that in your new intro?
Yeah. Yes.
That's
Yes.
great.
That is one of the most fun things about doing this podcast is that it started out with just playing music that was out of nowhere. Then I made an intro, and then I've just been changing the intro little by little as we go through all these episodes. So if you notice it when you're listening, it's fun. But if you don't, you just don't.
It's
pay attention,
evolved
I guess.
over
Mhm.
time. Yeah.
You've done a really
Yeah, I like your guys'.
Gunner, you've done a really good job, buddy. I just want you
Oh,
to know that.
thank you.
You've done a fantastic job.
Actually, both of you are doing
Sounded
a
good.
great job. I know that Gunner's kind of at the helm and is kind of handling all the heavy lifting, but the show has come a long way, and it is really, really, really good. You guys are
Yeah.
working well together. I love that you're all planned out, and I can't believe you're drinking a grape soda and not a beer. It's just really weird for me at this moment.
Just getting graped in the mouth here, Jeremy. Calm down.
Oh!
Is that supposed?
For the longest time,
It's
I thought he said
back.
I'm getting raped in the mouth. But
Oh god.
So I
Is
don't.
that what you say in the beginning?
Yes.
Grape
Grape.
me in the mouth,
Grape
which is
me.
also it's
It's-
not in the intro anymore though either.
It's a very early young YouTube video that came out, and that's what it was talking about. One of the catch lines is "grape me in the mouth."
Mhm.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
gee.
grape you in the mouth. You're gonna do what? I'm gonna give you these
That
grapes.
you guys made or just a you in general?
Just a YouTube one, like
Yeah.
one of the first like ones that kind of went big.
Nice.
early.
Yeah, I remember
That was-
those.
Throwback.
Those were
Throwback.
nice.
Those were the days. All that YouTube stuff. So I want to do a little breakdown of what we're going to be doing in this episode because it's going to be a little all over the place. But we're going to have two main things we're doing. The first one is we're going to be talking about movies, of course, since we're on the Call Guys. We got to talk about movies, TV shows, and I think we're going to do suspense and thrillers and docu-series,
Mhm.
whether that be TV shows or movies or whatever. And then the Murdnerds have put together some 5-minute murders, and they're going to present their story, and then Colton and I and the Emperor are going to theorize. Did you put one together, Emperor?
No,
or- okay.
no, I did
I didn't
not.
figure
And
you
I
did.
also did not put together a top 5 list. I left that for
Go
I left
figure.
that for the girls. So I'm just kind of
Oh.
hanging out and
Did we tell you what the top was going to be?
no.
Oh, see, okay. Well, then they're gonna have to do it off the cuff, so
Right on.
it'll be kind of fun. So yeah, before we do that though, we have one thing on the Call Guys we always do in every episode, and that is the question of the podcast. And this week's question kind of falls into the subject of suspense, thrillers, horror.
Jeremy said
Starts wiping his eyes.
it
getting
went
ready.
along with it though
I'm
for some
getting ready.
reason. That was really
Getting
funny.
ready.
He's got to open up his eyes so he can.
Oh
think.
my gosh.
That was perfect.
Okay, your question of the podcast. If you had to be in one horror film, which one do you think you would be able to survive?
I know. Do you know?
Ooh.
You know?
Okay, you can go first.
Midsummer.
I still haven't watched that.
I've not watched it
Midsummer.
either. Is there?
Has anybody in this?
No.
Oh my god!
I've seen
Watch
like
it
I've
tonight.
seen
It's
like
on Hulu.
I've seen like five horror movies.
I'm not a big like horror buff or anything by any means, but this one's like a psychological thriller that I
Okay.
can get behind. And Midsummer is
I know mine.
incredible.
I know mine too.
So why do you think you could survive it?
Because I'm blonde.
Oh, okay.
Well, now I feel like
And that would make sense if we had seen it.
That's Colton's answer.
I feel like
Well, you're redhead, bro.
is this a timepiece? movie?
Right. Is it like a Hitler thing?
No,
That's what I was thinking. Early 1940s.
Well,
No, it's about this girl and they travel. Her and her boyfriend. Sorry, there's a bug. Ah! Her and her boyfriend and their friends travel to Sweden, and they do like the Midsummer Festival, but it's a cult,
Oh,
and
Oh, nice.
they have to crown the May Queen, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. You guys need to go watch it because it's so good.
Spoilers. Jeez.
It literally made me like feel icky, and movies really don't make me feel icky, but that one was like, no,
Right on.
but it's so good.
Okay, we'll have to check it out. Ashley, what you
Mhm.
got?
so mine would be The Ring because I would never watch that fucking video in the first place. So I'd have been fine. I'd have been like, fuck that. I'm not watching that. I don't want it. I want no part of it.
That's a good reason.
So
Then.
I would have been A-okay. Because I'm like Colton, I don't watch shit like that.
That's right.
So I've seen a lot, which doesn't make sense when I say it, but I don't generally watch.
You don't think the curiosity would totally bring you in to watch it?
Nah,
Just
nah.
like, what
you know
is
what
it?
comes across my YouTube, and I'm like, nah, nope, not watching
What's
that.
that?
That's a scary face. Don't like that.
Midget porn? What? What does come across your YouTube? Or
I don't know, like the 30 most cursed pictures in the world,
oh shit, I'm totally in
and I'm like,
trouble.
I don't want to see those pictures.
I would,
Nope.
Don't stop
not if they're
listening.
cursed. No,
Stop
thank you.
listening.
I would
Yeah.
not survive the ring.
If a commercial comes on YouTube that's too scary, I don't watch it. I turn that shit off.
She's a big weenie.
I am a weenie. I'm alone all the time.
You have a roommate and a
She's never
dog
home.
and a hamster and a cat.
Dude,
Oh,
Sushi
shit.
can fight.
The hamster.
Chew your
Yeah,
nipples
he's
off.
aggressive.
Where are we going?
Where are you going, Jeremy?
What
All right,
you-
Dad.
Throw the hamster at your
Somebody-
assailant and chew the nipples off.
Somebody
Emperor,
got
Emperor, go.
It's easy. Mine would be maximum overdrive. Just stay in the fucking building. You won't get run over by a truck.
Okay.
I've never seen that.
I've never seen that either. It's from the
That's
80s.
just off my top of my head. I don't know. You know, there's so many great movies, but I don't know that I would have survived any of them.
Me neither.
For some weird reason, I ran to this tool shed and didn't go to the running car that was over there on the side.
I was gonna go easy. I was gonna say It because nobody dies in that movie besides Georgie.
Oh, smart.
Although the whole psychological thing might mess with me a little bit. So
Right? Maybe you're weak like Georgie.
Oh,
possibly. I just you know what? I just won't float my boat down the side of the road.
There you go.
I drain.
Nothing.
somebody
floats
get
his
that
boat.
boy a red balloon.
Yes, Colton.
I would go with Shaun of the Dead. And I
Okay.
would have just stayed at the
Oh,
apartment. With Liz.
great.
I would have
Great
stayed at the apartment
movie.
with Liz. I never would have went to the Winchester, and I would have stayed there. That's what I would have done.
That's
But-
such a good fucking movie. Oh, wait, can I cuss?
Oh my gosh.
We're already,
I
we're already past that as it is, so it's okay.
We've gone too far.
If you can show beer, I'm pretty sure you can guess.
Okay. We don't ever do videos. I don't know the rules.
We do videos every time. We just
So we don't post them.
Yes.
We have the archives.
The
All right, well,
keys.
those are all good answers. I like it.
But I would have to say, if it was like World War Z zombies, I'd be screwed.
Oh
Shaun
man,
of
I'm
the Dead.
slow.
Shaun of the Dead zombies, I'd be okay.
Yeah. That'd be fun almost.
I don't think I would have made it out of War of the Worlds either.
No, they run.
You would have
and
been one of those people in the
jump
street
on
that
top
got-
of each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Take me now.
Just be done with it.
Why wasn't Tom Cruise in his jet that whole movie?
Because it wasn't in the script.
You're right. It wasn't. It wasn't. All right, you guys ready to jump in and talk about some thrillers, suspense, and documentaries?
Heck yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let's do it. Let's actually just start with suspense and thrillers. What are some of your guys' favorite suspenseful movies, thrillers? You have any that really, really stick out to you?
They haven't
Is that for
frozen in the
Murdnerds?
camera.
Who's this for?
Anybody? Anybody answer?
Well, okay, I'll lead us off then. Camp Murdnerds. Really, really loved the 3 episodes. It was great. I love the ambiance of it. If anybody who is going to be like, you know what, I'm going to give the Murdnerds a shot, start with their camp special. Start with those
agree.
3. And if you can make it through those 3 episodes, especially the last 10 to 15 minutes of each episode,
What is that called?
it's hysterical. I love it.
I
love
agree.
It was
And
great.
we're just more relaxed. We're more comfortable there because we were just like hanging out.
Oh, you can
It gets
tell.
you feel a lot of pressure when you're like recording and everybody's just staring at you. And even though everybody's just, 2 people, but
Yeah. So you guys talked about a movie called The Strangers and how it was based off, I think it was the last story you told?
Yeah. The Keddy
Mhm.
Resort murders.
Yeah. So I hate that movie. That movie scares me all the time.
Oh yeah.
so scary.
Me and my buddies watched it at their house, and they have this huge window, kind of like they've got like a walkout basement, so they've got a walkway, and then it sinks down into an open room basement, and they got this huge glass like wall. And we're watching this movie, and I'm scared when I watch these type of movies. I'm like blanket over my face,
Right.
corner,
One eye out.
Yep, one eye out, corner, and then
I'm with it.
I slowly take the blanket down because when I hear the music, that's kind of when I know when to pull the blanket back up. So
Yeah.
I kind of gauge it.
We are one of the same. You
Yes,
and
I could tell this. So we're watching, and it's of course thundering outside, and it's at night, so that's fun. It's the end of that movie that absolutely scares me the entire time. They have done in this new bride and groom. They are leaving, and the bride says to them, "Why did you do this?" And they say, "Because you were home." And I'm like, you mean like that's not an answer. That's not an answer. You can't say that as an answer. That's not the right answer. No,
That's the scariest part of it. There's no reason. There's no reason why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, can't do this. Can't do it. Nope. Never again. I haven't watched that movie since.
Right. That
So-
movie's messed up. That's
Nope.
kind of like mine. Like mine would be there's 2, and they're both Rob Zombie, obviously, because he's loco. But in a good way. I like
Insane
Rob
in the
Zombie.
membrane.
But okay, he did The Devil's Rejects. Was that Rob Zombie?
Yes.
That movie was so scary to me because it was like it wasn't, I don't know, it was just so creepy and too real and too gory and too intense. And I watched it one time and I will never forget that movie. And the same with oh my God, the Lords of Salem.
I don't know what
That
that
movie's so
is.
scary.
Never.
Have you guys seen that movie?
No.
Oh my God. It is so fucking scary.
Well, I'm definitely not
Oh.
going to watch it.
Just thinking about that movie gives me the creeps. Oh, they play like this, like his wife, she stars like in all of his movies. I won't give any spoilers. She gets like this record. She's like a DJ and she gets
Wait,
this
how
record.
old's the movie? How old's the movie?
Oh Lord. It's early 2000s, I would
Okay,
guess.
spoil it.
Spoil it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, she gets like this vinyl record, and it's like these cursed notes or cursed songs. I don't know. And they play it. And that song or no repetition of certain noises was seared into my brain for like 4 years straight. Every time I was alone, I would just hear it and I'd be like, oh my God. Oh my God, it's happening. It's taking over my brain. That movie's so fucking scary. And then the end is so like trippy and weird. You have to watch it. I can't even explain it. But that movie's fucked up.
That sounds horrible.
I'm sorry.
She dropped the F-bomb like 7 times.
I'm
and it's like
And then
sorry.
almost
she, until she realizes it, she's
she's
like,
got a
I'm a
conscience on it.
cusser. A cuss.
Emperor, you got one?
I'm gonna say this right at the top. This is why I never watched like the Saw movies, because for the same purpose of what you two just said, I think that it can be too real.
Mm-hmm.
So I just never watched them. It just never piqued my interest whatsoever. But there are a couple other ones that just drive me insane, and one of them is Joyride.
Love.
Have you guys ever seen Joyride with Paul Walker and I can't think of the other guy's name. Once again, 2 guys just out screwing around on a CB radio, get some, just
Candy cane.
Candy
Yeah.
cane. Oh my God, I
Yeah.
remember that movie. Yes.
The
Used to
other
do that to
one,
each other all the time. Remember that?
Candy cane.
the other one is even worse. It's called Wrong Turn.
Oh
No. No, I don't like that one.
Have you seen it? It's got Elijah Dushku, and she turns down the wrong road. She, makes a wrong turn. Hence the movie name, dumbass. But they barbed wire the road, and she flattens her tires, and then it's just some crazy hillbilly hicks that just do nothing but steal people in their cars, and then just disembowel them and use their parts. And I think they probably ate them too, didn't they?
Yeah, they were. It was like incest, right?
It was
Like The Hills Have Eyes type
Kind
shit?
of.
It was.
Yeah.
But once again, they're so real. I mean, those things could actually be real, and I think that's what the most disturbing part of it. The Nightmare on Elm Streets and stuff like that. You're not going to be attacked by Freddy Krueger if you go to sleep. But damn it, you could take a wrong turn and end up in hillbilly hell.
Maybe it is just the realism of a lot of that stuff. Like what everybody's saying, it's if it like hits you, like it could actually happen to you, that's when you're really feeling it. When you see all these things that are like paranormal, spiritual, all that stuff that's happening, it's the less realistic, or it seems less realistic.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, and I'm like an oxymoron too, because I'll sit here and say I don't want to watch ghost movies because I can't kill a ghost, but I'll watch like Freddy versus Jay, which those are kind of stupid now, but like a horror film, like a slasher film, because I can kill a person and I can defend myself. I can't defend myself against like an entity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would rather watch a thriller.
But they just sometimes
than
they're just too much for me. Like
I
the
think-
gore and stuff.
But I think ghost movies are like super stupid, like spooky movies.
Yeah.
But I'm more scared of ghosts because I can't kill a ghost
Mm-hmm.
if I need it to.
Well, I'm gonna kick mine back way old school with some Jimmy Stewart and Rear Window. And I don't know if you've ever seen Rear Window.
Mm-mm.
It's where he is injured and he's in a wheelchair and he pretty much spies on his neighbors and witnesses a murder, and he's stuck in his apartment. And the whole movie, there's a lot of TV shows, a lot of movies have taken from this movie
The
to
remake.
create- yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really like it's kind of like
Shia
Disturbia.
LaBeouf.
Disturbia, yeah, he's on
Yeah.
probation or house
Um,
arrest.
Yep. So it's similar to that, and it is just a really good movie. It's probably early 60s, late 50s, probably. Really
Nice.
good movie. Yeah. And it's one of those that'll get you because like you see people walking on the street. There's been times I've seen people walk in front of my house in the middle of the night and it looks like they're walking up to my door, but they're just walking past. So it's like you see something like that and you're like,
Is
how
this
easy
that
is it-
moment? Is
yeah,
this that
how
moment in
easy
my
is it
life?
for them just to break down the door and come inside. So
I got a lot of knives.
Alicia, you've been quiet. What you got?
Midsummer is by far my favorite thriller movie, but Get Out,
Get Out. Oh,
that movie fucked me up.
yeah.
Was that the one about the blind man?
No.
No, it's
Okay.
it's a Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is
Yeah.
all of his movies are like crazy, thrillery.
Kind of
Yeah, great.
or-
M. Night Shyamalan kind of style where it's
Yeah,
like a
but not
big
bad.
twist. Yeah. Hey, he's got some good ones.
Some.
Sure.
Yeah. You haven't seen Get Out, Dad? Emperor?
No, it's Dad, Emperor Dad,
Emperor
Emperor Dad. I have not. I don't watch a ton of those movies.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have to hold back on my true crime content to just listening to the Murdnerds, because now I'm just in freaking paranoia in everything that I do in life. Now I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell was that? Did you see that?
You're welcome.
Yeah,
I
thank you
mentioned
so much.
I mentioned that to Colton last night. Before, because we recorded an episode last night, and afterwards I'm like the one note I have for the Murdnerds is that pretty much anywhere I go now, I'm like watching over, seeing what people are
That's
doing.
good. There
and,
needs
like,
to be a certain sense of anxiety. It's healthy anxiety, and it protects you.
yeah,
But you can
like-
go overboard.
reading
Trust me.
license plate numbers.
Oh, yeah.
What's that guy's looking
Something's
kind of weird? What's he
weird.
wearing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
That's a good thing to do.
Who am I
or
drop kicking? Who am I punching?
Am I just saying that because I do that?
Right? It's normal for us.
Yeah.
It's normal. Yeah. I've always had that anxiety.
And then you get the weird ones where the family goes on vacation to a weird place and something bizarre happens only in the middle of July when they go. It's just crazy.
I think he's talking about you.
I ain't afraid of those hills. I've been in those hills before.
I ain't
Jeremy,
afraid of those
I know some people down there. We get
We
lost.
get-
Wait,
You got it
wait,
covered.
wait. Don't you always say I will die on that hill?
and I'll bury you in that hill.
Oh, there you go.
I do have another one. Have you guys ever seen Gerald's Game?
Mm-mm.
No?
Sounds familiar.
Husband and wife go on a vacation out into a cabin in the woods, and they're getting ready to do it, and he handcuffs her to
Do what?
the bed.
Yeah, what's
They're
it?
getting ready to do it. They're getting
Are they
ready
going to work
bang-
at the
Bang
meat place?
Tango? The bang, yeah, like Obi-Wan. Bang.
They're gonna
Tango.
listen to Bang Tango. I love that band.
So he handcuffs her to the bed, and then he has a heart attack, and he dies. And she's handcuffed to the bed and she can't get to her phone. She can't get to anybody, so she's stuck there. And out of nowhere, like a homeless man / weird looking dude comes in the house and stares at her and leaves, and then will come back and stare at her and leave. It is creepy,
Oh,
but it's
no.
a
Is she-
very
is
He
she-
like doesn't let her out. He just watches her
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
goes
watches
away.
her. And
Was
With
she
a
then,
dead
naked?
husband, like
No.
Ooh,
imposing
that's
on her.
creepier than like killing her.
Is
And
she
then-
naked?
no, she's not naked.
Oh,
But
that movie's not
she
worth
ends-
watching.
at the end of it, she ends up breaking her hands to get out. Like,
Fuck yeah, I
It's
chew
like-
that shit off like in Saw. Or I guess he saws it off, but still.
if you get a chance, watch it. It's really good.
What's it
It's
called
really-
again?
Gerald's Game.
Gerald's Game.
She's gonna Netflix that some gun the later tonight.
I think
Watch
it
out.
is on
Ooh.
Netflix. I'm pretty sure it is. So
That is scary.
very good movie. Very, very, very suspenseful.
Too real.
Yeah,
Too real for me.
weren't you just in a cabin not too long
Uh-huh.
ago?
Well, let me tell you, I
Did you
spent
handcuff
hours.
mom to a bed?
Well, maybe.
Good thing you didn't have a heart attack.
Dun, dun,
no.
dun.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
No, but I did spend a lot of hours staring out into the woods looking for squatches and puckwudgies and sitting in the. Well, there was that moment where your mother had too much to drink and went to bed at like 8:30. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in the living room of this cabin that I don't know, going, this place could be haunted. What was that? Just stupid.
You gotta
She's in
just
the
carry an
walls.
EVP with you all the time.
I need to download that thing that Connor Biddle's got. What is it called? Ghost Box.
Yeah.
Something like
But I'm too
Also-
afraid. I'm afraid.
Speaking of people on the walls, I've talked about this before, but the movie Aftermath with Ashlee Green from Twilight and the guy from The Following, he's in that show. There's a guy living in the walls in that
Mhm.
movie.
Oh
So
my
yeah, if
gosh.
you have not watched that, check it out because it's creepy because it's like a paranormal movie at first, and then it ends up being a guy living in the walls.
which is based off a true story.
Yep.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that boy, right?
No, that was based off there was a man living in the walls.
Massachusetts.
That's it.
Yeah.
Is that the Andrews house?
I think so. Yeah.
Right on.
Creepy.
If you listen to Two Stop, you would know.
Yeah,
I thought it was
Ooh.
a 15-year-old boy with the little girls.
it was. crazy.
It was a
this movie-
15-year-old boy.
You're right.
This
I thought
movie
you
is
were
actually based
Yeah,
off of,
I do fucking listen to Two Stop, and I edited that.
I thought you were
F
talking
word.
the 15-year-old boy was in the walls.
No, this one's actually based off a different time this has happened too.
Oh,
I actually looked into it, and it was like in Massachusetts somewhere, and so
I like that noise
yeah,
that you made with your mouth.
yeah.
I don't like thinking about people in walls because we have like a lot of storage places in our house.
My apartment's
And
a
we
freaking fortress.
live pretty close to a mental health facility, like a long-term mental health care facility
Yeah.
And Halloween is
Not
coming.
pretty close. It like literally
in my backyard.
punches the back of your
yeah. So, and there's been 2 times where we have seen someone escape, and nobody believed me when we moved there. I was like, I'm really paranoid that somebody's gonna like try to get into our house, which is like probably kind of rude to assume something like that. But I was just a little paranoid. And then we pulled in our driveway, and there were cops all around our house. And there was somebody in a gown just rolling around our yard.
rolling.
Rolling around in our yard. And we were like, can we help you in any way, officers? And they're like, no, we got this under control. They just escaped. And I'm like, oh. And then during quarantine, we were raking leaves in like March. No, it was after Cora was born. So it was like the end of April. We were out raking leaves, and we watched a bunch of nurses and doctors just run right out of the place. And we're like, is there anything we can help you with? When they ran past, they're like, look for somebody that looks like this, blah, 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 blah. They just left the hospital. And you need a name tag to
They're
get
like,
in
keep
and
your
out
eyes
of there.
peeled.
Yeah. So
And then what? If you see them, then what?
call the police, I guess. I
Oh
don't
my
know.
God. That's intense. I never even thought about that with your house.
Yeah. So
Maybe I won't move in next door.
we'll just put locks on the door. We have like chain locks on all the doors, and we have a camera and stuff outside. So nobody fucking come to my house and try to
Yeah,
be
once
creepy.
I buy a house, it's gonna be all cameras.
Halloween's coming. Could be skeletons in the extra storage space.
Oh no.
Little weird timed out Amazon echoes that go off. I mean, you know.
They're doing mouth noises.
Yeah, he is. Any other suspense thrillers? Any other movies that really stick out to you guys? That
Where's
you
your
wanna talk
list?
about?
I was gonna say I have
Ashley
my.
has a list.
You have a list?
Well,
We're
I
top
thought we were
5.
supposed to do our top 5, so I did my top 5 favorite.
I thought
You, that was a plan. You made a plan.
I mean, I have a list.
I've got some that we could elaborate. Jeremy, I'll just go through mine. Jeremy
Yeah.
brought up Saw. That one's a little messed up.
That was messed up.
Messed up.
Messed up.
The Paranormal Activity movies.
Bro.
Yeah.
I watched those in college, and I slept with my light on for 2 months in my dorm room.
Your dorm was scary though.
It was scary. Remember when I downloaded that app that records you when you sleep, and something hit my blinds like really hard? They were metal
And you
blinds.
hear it hit the blinds and like go down.
And my headboard, when I'm laying down, I can't even reach the top of my
It was like a
headboard.
safety window. It was IPFW.
Bars on
and
it?
that was after I watched that
Oh.
fucking movie.
IPFW has like those small safety windows in their dorms. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. That
That's
was
up
it was
there.
creepy.
I also got The Mist, the Stephen King movie, The Mist. I
Wait,
think
I
the
might be
worst,
thinking of The Fog.
Yeah, they're easily confused.
Yeah.
the book and the
No,
movie
I'm
don't
too
have the
serious.
same ending.
Well, no, I
And-
believe it, but
And I think it's the ending in the movie that really made me feel terrible. And I was just like, if the guy would have just waited.
Oh
10
my God, I
seconds-
know. Oh, the worst.
so that's
The
wait,
worst. Oh,
that's
that
the
movie.
mist, right? That was the mist. That's not
The
the fog.
Mist.
Okay.
Oh, the end of
Yeah.
that movie is the fucking worst. That's the worst
Yeah.
ending to a movie I've ever seen in my life.
But you
Yeah.
remember
But
it.
also really good ending because it made me that mad, I think.
And my last one on here is Seven.
Oh.
7. That movie's fucked up. Oh,
It's
God.
so messed up.
Can someone just, am I allowed to say it or not?
Yeah. You, can say it's
You know,
fine.
I think we should just keep this the way it's going right now. 'Cause this is gold. So, but yeah, Seven, that psychological thriller and that whole thing, and how he's just toying with him the whole time. And man, that was a good performance by Pitt and I think
What's in the
Spacey.
box?
What's in the box? And then what's his name? Lucius. Frozo. What's his not Frozo. It's,
Is it Morgan Freeman?
Morgan Freeman? Yes.
There you go.
Thank you, Emperor.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So yeah, those are kind of my top thrillers that I, have actually watched more than once, but probably not more than 3 times.
Right.
So 2 times is what that means, right?
Right. 2 times. One and
Yes.
a half.
Yes, I know.
I've got Split on there
Oh,
just for the
Split.
multiple personalities thing. That was awesome. And
That's a good one.
I look at you through the video. and
Me?
Yeah.
Look at my face. I'm right here.
I've also got Gone Girl on there. I don't know if anybody's seen that
Ooh.
one.
That was a
It's
good one. We talked
really
about
good
Gone
movie.
Girl a little bit.
that's
Yeah.
messed up.
Yeah. American Psycho, obviously Christian Bale, really good movie.
Mhm.
Chinatown, which is an older kind of suspense police procedural, and then North by Northwest, which is another Jimmy Stewart older movie, which is very, very suspenseful. It takes place at Mount Rushmore, which is a really cool setting for a movie. That's about all I got.
Jeremy, do you have a list at all?
I'll just give you my top 2 because I don't have a list, but I'll tell you if we're just talking about wait, what are we talking about? Murder movies? Are we talking about horror movies?
Thrillers.
Thrillers? I don't even
suspense,
know.
Murder movies, yeah.
So I mean, when as far as that goes, all the night. I mean, the first like 4 or 5 Nightmare on Elm Streets are always my favorite, between the murder and all that. But I think one of my all-time favorite ones is 13 Ghosts. I think that's just a really good movie. That was
13 Ghosts is my favorite ghost thriller of all time. That movie's so freaking good.
I just remember the boobs.
Oh,
all
it's so good. Oh, the bathtub boobs.
All I
And the
know is
ghost
that
boobs.
I did not want to watch it, and because like I said, I don't really watch those kind of movies, and I was there was like sit down and watch it, and then I just spent the rest of the evening going through the end of the DVD, walking through all the different ghosts and all the different all that stuff, and so yeah, it was
That's a great movie.
couldn't stop. I think I went back and watched the movie again. I liked it so much. So
Yeah, that's a great one. When the door closes, that's a cool part.
oh, and one more of those ones that you don't ever want to watch again. Final Destination.
Oh, I love the Final Destination
I
franchise.
cannot drive behind a freaking
It's
log
the
truck
root
to
of
save my life.
all of my anxiety from as long as I can remember since
The
I've seen the
tanning
first
bed.
movie.
The tanning bed scene.
Oh,
And then there
God.
was
I used
one-
to tan once upon a time. I didn't tan, but I would sit in a tanning bed and
Her skin wouldn't allow it.
yeah,
I know the pain.
yeah. I would hear the cracking of the glass and be like, this is it. This is where Final Destination comes into play.
It's plexiglass.
It doesn't matter. It's scary.
So what do you guys got? What do you girls got? Pick. Who
Ashley,
wants to go?
Okay, so we did something a little different. I think we did misunderstood the
I
assignment.
think we misunderstood the assignment.
So what
for sure.
we did is we picked our top 5. She did documentaries
Uh-huh.
and I did movies. And then
Okay.
we kind of formed, I don't know, I wrote a little thing about
Like a little synopsis of the top 5 and then the very last one.
Hmm.
Did you write a more in-depth one?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think
So
we misunderstood the assignment.
That
The
explains
way
the
I s-
blank face from this beginning where
yeah, we were like,
Yeah.
oh wait, what? But okay, so can I go first?
Yeah,
May
go
I?
right ahead,
Okay.
and then we'll jump into documentaries, and then
Yeah,
we'll do the
yeah,
over again.
perfect.
So with mine, I did it kind of fun. I'm going to talk about the murder that the movie's based on, and then I want you guys to try and guess what movie it is.
Okay,
Oh,
It's a
great.
game. Yay.
we get a game.
Okay. So
Play game.
should I start at number 1? I have to start at number 1. Okay, I'm going to start at number 1. Sorry, let me talk myself through those.
She got to talk herself into it. You catch
Okay.
that?
So number 1 is Danny Rolling, the Gainesville Ripper. So have you guys ever heard of that?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So he was an American serial killer who
Murdered.
he murdered.
Did you do that to puppies? I mean, you got them
Neuter.
Spay and Mooter.
He murdered 5 students in Gainesville, Florida. It was like a 4-day spree in 1990. So he confessed to, trigger warning, we have to do this. We should have done that at the top, I guess. He confessed to raping several of his victims, killing 3 people in Shreveport, Louisiana, which I think was where he was actually from, and attempting to kill his dad that same year in 1990, earlier that year. So he confessed to killing 8 people, and he was sentenced to death in Gainesville in 1994, and he was executed by lethal injection in 2006. So do we know what movie? No.
The Green Mile. Nice guess, though.
That was a
That's
good
really
guess and a great movie.
I don't know. I don't know.
It is. Wait, you guys give up? It's the 1996 slasher film Scream.
Oh,
Wow. Wow.
what?
Yeah,
I knew that.
you did know that.
I did really know
That
that.
makes a lot of sense.
Right. So Wes Craven. We all love Wes Craven. The cast, amazing.
Drew Barrymore dies in the first
5
scene?
minutes.
Right. Yeah. Courtney Cox is in it too. David Arquette, love him.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Well, again, we misunderstood the assignment. I have some stuff about the movie I can read if you want.
Just grab a couple of them. We'll do
Okay,
guess. I like the game. It's fun.
Okay. Let's see. This movie, the budget was $15 million. It grossed $173 million. So it was the highest grossing film of 1996, the year it came out.
I think I
And
know
it's
this
the,
one.
oh no. I'm still talking about Scream. Should I stop talking about Scream?
Oh, no, never mind.
No,
then.
I know this.
Oh, I thought it was another movie.
I did too. I thought you.
So
were
you
moving
didn't
on.
know.
What
I
movie
didn't
did
know.
you think of us?
I was thinking the Blair Witch Project, but I was like, they didn't spend $15 million to make that movie.
Today's
they
the
spent
anniversary.
$15.
They spent 15. Yeah.
They spent
Today's the anniversary of that
$15.
movie.
Is it
Today?
really? Nice.
Today is?
Yes.
Whoa.
Like the
Yippee.
20th anniversary.
You mean the Bell Witch?
25th anniversary?
Okay. So I'll skip my statistics.
Okay, that works.
Okay. So we'll talk about Eileen Wuornos next. Do you know who that is?
Eileen Wuornos.
Mm-hmm. She was an American serial killer. She was active from 1989 to 1990. She was a sex worker in Florida who shot and robbed 7 men. She claimed that these men either raped or attempted to rape her, and that all the homicides that she committed were out of self-defense. She was sentenced to death for 6 of the murders on October 9, 2002, and she was killed by lethal injection after being on death row for 12 years. in
Oh,
Florida.
I know this one.
What's the movie called?
Pretty Woman.
I was gonna say Finding Nemo.
Oh my god!
I was gonna say that new J-Lo movie.
Hustlers. That's a good movie. Do you know it? You know it.
Yeah, and I can't picture the name. I can picture the cover. It's got the blonde lady who's very, very pretty.
Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron.
Oh, is that Monster?
Monster. Ding, 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 ding. Jeremy gets a point. That movie's hard to freaking watch.
Suck it, Colton. Got a point.
And they actually dropped another movie. It's like a prequel to Monster. So if you haven't seen Monster, I recommend watching it, but it's tough to watch. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's hard to watch. But it's called Eileen Wuornos American Boogie Woman. Sounds kind of disco-y, but it's not in a good way. Doesn't
Boogie Woman.
but that's a prequel to Monster. So that's a new one that's out.
Was that song named after her?
American Boogie Woman.
Come on, Eileen.
Oh my gosh.
No. Okay. Just
No.
Next movie.
Okay. So now we'll talk about Henry Hill. Henry Hill was an American mobster turned snitch. He was associated with the.
I know this one.
Look at him.
Just say it now.
Buzzin'.
Say it now.
Goodfellas.
He's correct.
I
Goodfellas.
love that movie. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. I used to have a movie poster. All my life, I've dreamed of being a gangster.
I've never seen the movie.
Oh.
You've never seen it? It's a great movie.
I had to put it in here. It's a great movie, and I know it's got like what Rotten Tomatoes give it like a 95% or something stupid like that. So
Not high
it's
enough.
got to be good. Not high enough. And I have some like mobster stuff in the works since we're so close to Chicago over here. So
Nice. I'm excited.
I wanted to put it in even though I've never seen it. I'll watch it, I promise.
Yeah, it's a long one. It's a good story. It's a Martin Scorsese film, so it's done really well. And I love mob movies.
That's how you say his last name, Scorsese.
Yeah,
That's not how I would have said it.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
I've got his name in here. It's not how I was gonna say it.
Yeah, you gave it away with Hank Hill. That was a dead
Yeah, you said
giveaway, right?
Henry Hill, and
Yeah.
I was like, I only know one.
Yep.
He actually just
Is he
died
trolling me?
recently.
Is he trolling?
Hank is short for Henry.
Is it really?
Damn it, Bobby.
I've never heard that.
Oh, really?
He was never called Hank in the movie,
No.
and I don't know if he was ever called Hank in real life.
Well, Stern, Howard Stern had him on a lot, and they used to call him Hank.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's a ballsy.
that's
thing
why
to
I.
do.
That's why I. Well, he was. He was.
I'd have called him Mr. Henry.
Mr. Henry. Excuse me, Mr. Henry. No, not Stern. He don't play that game.
Well, he also left the mob in a bad way. But we can let's just go to the next movie. We could
Yeah,
We
let's
don't
do
wanna
one
get too
more.
derailed.
Let's do one more and then do
don't want to get too derailed.
documentaries.
One more.
One more.
Okay.
Do that one.
This one.
Yeah.
Now you already
Okay.
know the answer.
Yeah, you can't guess, I
answer.
guess.
I don't know the answer. I just know the synopsis of what you say it. Don't worry.
Okay, yeah, then I won't show you the movie. Okay, so this is my one it's like my story, so I'm going to talk about him just a little bit longer than the rest, okay? Is that okay? Okay. His name's Ed Gein. He was active from 1947 to 1957 in Wisconsin. He has 2 confirmed murders, but they suspected him of at least 7. So he began what we call body snatching. In 1945, he was stealing women's corpses. In 1954, he shot a saloon keeper named Mary Hogan, and he loaded her onto a sled and then took her home with him after he killed her. And then on November 16th of the same year, he robbed, oh crap. I didn't write her first name.
That's why you wanted to say this, because you want to hear her say that name, didn't you?
What?
Whatever she's trying to pronounce.
Oh no, because this.
No, I
Ed
didn't write her
Gein's
first.
Fucking wild.
He's fucking wild. And I'm not going over a lot because I'm keeping that open, obviously.
Do you have the?
Just wait.
Okay.
Let me say it all, and then you can ask questions. I didn't put her first name, but he robbed a woman with the last name of Warden at a local hardware store that she owned, and then he killed her as well. But her son was a police officer, so they got suspicious and they went to search his home. And then, so I can read this whole list, or I can just pick a few. It's not that long, but it's a lot of creepy shit. Do you want me to read it all? Okay, I'll blow through it all. He found whole human bones and fragments, a wastebasket made of human skin covering several chair seats, skulls on his bedposts, female skulls, some with the tops sawn off, bowls made from human skulls, a corset made from a female torso, skinned from shoulder to waist, leggings made from human leg skin. That still had hair on them. Thank you for that. Masks made from the skin of female heads.
So,
He had Mary Hogan's face mask in a paper bag. Mary Hogan's skull was also in a box. Oh, Bernice, that was her name. He had Bernice Warden's entire head in a burlap sack. Bernice Warman's heart in a plastic bag in front of his potbelly stove. He had 9 vulvae in a box. A young girl's dress and the vulvas of two females judged to have been about 15 years old, so children. A belt made of human nipples, 4 noses, a pair of lips on a window shade drawstring, a lampshade made from the skin of a human face, and fingernails from female fingers.
I want a belt made of nipples.
I knew that was when I was typing this. I was like, "That's the only thing Jeremy's going to hear is about." I knew it.
So this is an interior designer movie,
Right, right. With a dark,
Were they-
with a
were
dark
they-
set.
were they-
Wears Prada.
were they?
Wrong.
Is it Texas
Wrong.
Chainsaw?
Oh my God, I'm not even done yet. Yes, it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Good job.
Yeah.
Right, it's
what I
the
think.
mask thing that
I think
gives it
it's-
away.
No,
Yeah.
I mean everything because you see their barn and all that in the movie, and it's got all this stuff like
Right.
yeah.
The skinned people.
Yeah.
I just want to say anybody who's actually listening to this on streaming sites, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to this, go to YouTube and watch Colton's face during that.
So
I didn't get to
deal.
see any of it. I was
I'll
looking
say-
at my
I'll
phone the
say
whole
this.
time.
when you guys are describing stuff on your shows and it's like that kind of graphic stuff, I make those same faces.
Right. I feel that. Because
And
we
a
listen
lot
to
of
other
really-
podcasts.
And a lot of them they always end with ew.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. So I mean, I can stop there. I've got a little bit more on him, but
I already guessed it, man. We're good.
yeah, you
That's
got
what
it. I
buzzed
do
in.
want to say our Murdnerds know this, but Ed Gein is not to be confused with Ed Kemper, another serial killer active from 64 to 73 who decapitated his mom and had sex with her head. That's a different guy.
Yeah, that's the one
Just
that
so
I
you guys
find the
know.
creepiest. That's the creepiest.
You're welcome,
guy.
Colton.
And I did just mix them up literally last night.
Right. And when I remember us bringing it up one time, because Jeremy was like, oh, that
Yes.
brought up a story. And I was like, oh, yeah, I think that was, but I got it right. I think I said Ed Kemper. I don't think I said Ed Gein.
No.
I'm going to open this just in case.
That's a great sound. We love that sound.
I'm surprised
Alicia.
that's not in your opening.
What are we doing here for documentaries?
We're gonna do we're gonna do documentaries. Do you guys watch true crime documentaries at all?
Yes.
No.
You do?
Yes.
What's your
Yes.
favorite one? Or a couple of your favorite ones?
A couple of my favorite ones recently that we've watched. The Keepers. Did you watch The Keepers?
Oh yeah. I watched
yeah,
The
I
Keepers.
watched-
Keepers is really good.
I
And I've
watched
got
that
them
one
on my
too.
list.
Oh yeah, very good.
Yeah.
I don't like to say that it was done well
But the
because
story.
It was.
exactly,
It was
like,
well
it's-
done.
I just feel
You
bad
can say
saying
that.
it.
Documentary makers, I mean,
Yeah, but still,
You can
like,
say it.
I just don't like the fact that they've got to make them.
Yeah, for sure.
the
So
story
I-
still needs to be told, though.
Yeah,
that's a good
And it was
point.
told very well.
That's a good point. I also watched recently. These are just recently ones that we've watched, so they're fresh. Murder Among Mormons.
I watched that.
I haven't seen
The
that.
bombings.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Salt Lake
Mormons
City.
are wild, man.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
And Jeremy, I would be I'd be a little interested in your take on that one and the next one I'm going to bring up because not to say you're old or anything, but you were alive when these
Huh.
happened. Do you remember hearing anything about it, or has the news changed that much that it's easier to get nationwide news to you now, obviously, than it was back then? Or
Okay,
were these?
So I
things-
don't know anything
he's
about
really
that.
attacking him on
can
the
you,
age.
can you give me a little bit of a synopsis on it? Because I don't remember.
Yeah, because they probably weren't called the Mormon bombings. Like what, you know?
It was the okay, I gotta slow down. It was the LDS,
Mm-hmm.
Latter Day
Mm.
Latter Day Saints. I always want to say LSD.
Oh, right on.
so I have to slow down. So the Latter Day Saints, they some guy allegedly said he had books from the Mormon beginnings saying about how they
Oh
were
my
supposed to be
gosh.
worshiping lizards and
Yeah.
a whole bunch of really, really far out there stuff already than what they do now.
Do you recall the year that all that was going on?
Gosh, I think it was in the 80s.
Late
Okay.
80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
I think Small Town Murder covered this story, if I
It-
remember correctly. I listened to their podcast a while back.
And then what it turned out to be is that the guy who found these things he made them up, and he was an awesome calligrapher.
Yeah, they were forgeries.
And
Right.
he had made so much money off of
the
the
church.
and
Oh
a
my
whole
gosh,
bunch of
yeah.
other people.
Yeah, sorry,
And-
but I have no idea.
Okay.
I really don't.
That's a great story.
I
I
don't
mean-
remember. I think we get into what was the one that the bomber that was the real famous one that was out in the woods that they end up catching. I can't think of who it is right.
The
The
Unabomber.
Oklahoma.
The Unabomber.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Oh.
that's even the only one that I really know of, and I don't really know that much about it. But
Okay, I was just curious.
right on.
Because I asked my dad that question too after I watched this. He's like, I don't really remember anything like that. So
But you got to remember. I mean, I'm old and all. I get that, but I mean, if you're talking early to mid '80s, we're still looking at 10 years old when all that was going on. So I don't remember watching a lot of news when I was 10.
I mean,
Well,
I
and
remember.
no
I remember the
offense-
Challenger blowing up.
I
Yeah.
remember that because I remember
9/11.
my buddy came into my 6th grade class. And it's like he was in the office because he was in trouble. He's like, "You ain't gonna believe what I just seen," and he was telling me about that.
Oh,
So I
Yeah.
was in 6th grade.
No
I remember
offense to
that.
the Mormons though, but they for sure like know how to cover shit up. So
they do.
so I think that's why
they're-
it didn't get a lot of headlines
Right on.
until recently.
Yeah. Till
Well, they
someone
keep-
dug it up.
It's pretty. They're pretty tight knit,
Mhm.
Oh
and
yeah.
it takes a while for them to get stuff out.
But yeah, that's a great, like you were saying before, you don't want to say great story, but that story has a lot in it, and it's good material for your ears,
Yeah.
is what I'll say.
it's got a lot of meat to it.
Yeah. Yep.
Same.
It's girthy.
It's got some girth.
What am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah. Well,
That's
Alicia,
what she said.
Oh,
You're welcome, Jeremy.
wow.
I stole that one from
Hey,
you.
there you go. Nicely done.
why did you watch Wild Wild Country?
I haven't watched that one yet. I want to so
I
bad.
watched it. That was
It's-
good.
It's good.
The cult. I love cults.
It's good. I love
Well,
cults, too.
this one's it's
We should start a cult.
It's out there. It's out there.
Cults don't make sense to me. That's why.
So
They're
you haven't
like-
seen. Sorry,
What?
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Gunner's
you
just
said-
been so quiet. You haven't seen any of these, Gunner.
I don't actually watch many murder true crime documentaries. So I'm
should
here
start.
for the
You
listen.
should.
I'm here for the listen.
It's good.
Yeah,
It's good stuff.
They're rabbit holes. Me and my wife, we go down like every couple months. We watch like 3 or 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Same. I just
they're
watched one
dropping
about.
them left and right.
I just watched one about Abercrombie and Fitch.
We watched that on
Dude.
Hulu. It's so. Oh my gosh! I was
Every
like,
time a new one
what
comes
is
out, it's
going
like,
on?
yes.
Yeah,
what is
for
going
real.
on?
That's a
But
really
yeah, I
good
think-
documentary.
Honestly, I think Hulu is they're starting to throw some stuff in there with Netflix that is comparable, if not better. Now, obviously, you could
I
tell
love Hulu.
Netflix has the money, way more
Oh,
money
yeah.
than Hulu. But
For sure.
I think Hulu's been doing some good stories that's
Mhm.
competing with Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix is a granddaddy Mac of like streaming. So
And then
Yeah.
I've got This Is a Robbery. That's the faces I was expecting. It was about some paintings. I think 11 paintings got stolen and one got destroyed in one of Boston's most famous museums, art
Mhm.
museums. And they still don't know where those paintings are today. And I think the
Interesting.
paintings are worth like 23 million right now.
for all of them,
For all of them, yeah. And like I said, nobody knows where they're at. There's speculation that
somebody
they've either
knows
been
where they're at.
destroyed. They're in
Goodwill?
yeah, nobody knows.
no.
With that,
But
Danny
when you
drum kit.
watch it and they go through the night of it happening, it's like this is a setup. Like this is an inside job through and through. And
This is a robbery.
exactly. I know. they really didn't have to stretch on the name. Probably it's just some editors sitting up being like, what do we call this thing? They're like, man, just F it, man, just call it This Is a Robbery. Go to bed. And then we just watched Keep Sweet. Is that the name of that one?
Yeah, I
Sweet?
have that on my list too. It's such a good one.
You are totally covering Alicia's list right
You
now.
are.
It's like my problem with almost any type of, because that also targets kind of the
It's FLDS. Yeah.
FLDS. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Explain. I've never seen this one.
I'll explain it when I get into my list.
Okay.
I've got a
Yeah.
synopsis on them. Short guy.
Any type of like religion thing that you could tell that's being abused by people, it makes me so angry.
Oh, same.
Like I'm like, I'll drive there right now and just swing on somebody for how angry I am right now. Like,
He's throwing hands.
oh yeah, about
He's
that
ready.
life. About that life.
Yeah, the FLDS is like an offshoot of Mormonism, like a really
Correct.
extremist version.
Well,
So-
they think they're the progressive version.
What does that
of-
stand for?
Yes.
FLDS.
I'll explain it.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't
I'm
know
sure
right
she
now.
will. Well, I'm sure she will. If it's on her list,
It's on my list. I go into
And
it.
you both do a really good job bringing details into your guys' story.
Thank you.
Another good
You
thing
don't have
that
to
you
lie
guys
to
do.
me.
Well, then only Alicia does it. Ashlee sucks.
Well,
And
see, look,
then-
now you both have a favorite. You know, Colton likes Alicia better, and Logan likes Ashlee better.
Logan loves Ashlee.
I don't know why we barely have spoken.
Listen, Logan, what do I gotta do?
What do I got to do?
What do I gotta
What
do?
do I got to do? And then the last one I'll talk on is Our Father.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
guys
yeah.
talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
That just enraged me
Gross.
inside and outside. I don't know how nobody just rolled up on him one time and just like put one in the back of his head.
A cum shot?
What the fuck?
Literally.
Like him?
I mean, if you
Like
think
what you
about it.
No, I'm thinking more like a
Gunner's
snub,
like, what just happened?
I'm thinking more like a snub 22. So it stays in there and nobody
Both.
can get it out.
Both at the same time, I think would be fair.
Well, I don't know how that
you
would
pick
work,
you pick
but-
out which one goes the eye and which one goes
You
the back
need
of the
a
head.
partner. You need a partner. Gunner,
I-
sorry, but you're in this now.
Oh, God.
Great. Well, I got
I
the
think-
gun, Colton. I got the gun.
He is the gunner.
Oh.
Can we talk about one thing that was on my list, but I'll just bring it up so we can talk about it because it was so good. Was the Stanford prison experiment? Did you guys watch that
No.
movie?
I was just watching an episode of Castle the other day where they talk
I
about
love
the Stan-
Castle.
they
I
talk
just
about the
finished Castle the
Stanford
other
prison
day.
experiment. Yeah. It's one of
Wait.
my favorite shows of all time, but there's an episode where they talk about that.
Yeah, I love Richard Castle. But yeah, that is insane. So like a psychologist wanted to see the psychological effects of being a prisoner and being a inmate. So they got college students, they like arrested them
Oh.
and brought them in, and 9 inmates, 9
Guards.
guards, yeah. And it just got out of control. He had to shut it down, but you've got to watch that
Wait,
movie.
so were the 9 inmates being watched by the 9 prison guards?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
they
they
were
were
just
all
stuck in their
Stanford
cells.
students in a experiment, and
Oh.
you wouldn't believe the way they develop. And it's only how many days? It wasn't even that long. I think it was like 10 days or something ridiculous.
They had to end it short.
Yeah, because it just got completely out of control. Anyway,
Because
crazy.
I have some buddies who are prison guards, and I don't know how they do it. Honestly,
yeah,
I
it's
couldn't.
that you gotta watch that. You gotta watch that. It's a docudrama, so it's like it's not a real documentary, but it is about that experiment.
Well, next
Ezra Miller's in it. Do we want to talk about Ezra freaking Miller right
Oh,
now?
No, we
cult
don't. We
thing?
don't bring his name up in this
We
podcast.
like cults, but
We
Shit's
don't.
getting weird.
What he's involved with? No, we don't. We don't bring his.
Did
Gunner,
you
why
see
don't we?
the-
Why don't we talk about him? Why don't we talk about him?
because he's a part of DC.
That's right. Forget about anything else he's done.
They dropped him. Did they
He's
drop
in
him?
the-
They have to have dropped him.
Not yet, but I think it's there.
He's
Wait,
in the
doesn't he
new
have a-
Flash.
He's
They
like
got a new movie coming
Holding
out.
people
he's got a new-
captive, right, or something?
Yeah, he said he was gonna kill somebody in a TikTok.
He's got
Yeah.
an 18-year-old that has a restraining order against him.
Yeah.
Good job, DC. Keep hitting those bullseyes that you keep doing. Good job.
You were probably so happy when I said his name, where you're like,
Oh,
"Fuck yes."
anything to throw the
Started
dirt.
it.
Anything to throw the dirt.
I will die on this hill.
This is
I
a
like
mess-
DC.
This is a message of DC. If you can hear us and you're watching the call, guys,
Marvel's
Get your head
better.
out of your ass, because I'm going to tell you right now, you're doing nothing but fueling Colton's fire,
You-
That's
and he's
right.
winning this argument.
You gotta
and
fire
it's
him.
starting to piss me off.
Fire Ezra Miller. I don't know why. Oh, they.
They?
I think he's not.
He's
He's
non-binary.
yeah. They are not
Oh,
binary.
shit.
Okay,
Oh,
them.
gotcha.
Just yes.
Okay, Alicia, let's hear this list.
All
I'm,
right.
I'm
Here
excited.
we go.
I'm excited. So
So I covered like a whole array of true crime,
Mhm.
not just like murders or
Mhm.
anything. Number
Murders.
5.
Passport to murder.
Number 5 is one that was just released on Netflix not too long ago. The Tinder Swindler. Have you guys watched this one?
Mhm.
it's on the list.
It's on the list.
It wasn't that long ago, or I mean, it was a little while ago, wasn't it?
Well, this documentary came out in February of 2022. I put that on here
Oh,
on,
okay.
on Netflix.
They
And
did
it
their
tells
call guys research. They got
That's right, they
I
did.
director and all right.
The
keep going.
story, it's okay. It tells the story of a man named Shimon Hayat, who goes by Simon Lviv. And Simon used the dating app Tinder to find women, obviously. And he told them that he was the son of this extremely wealthy Russian Israeli diamond mogul. And he took all these women on these expensive dates. He bought them lavish gifts and just kind of showered them in attention and romance. And then Simon gets these women to, like, in hook, line, and sinker. He starts convincing them that he's running from people who have a hit out on him because he's this diamond mogul's son. And they're like, all these people that are coming after him are trying to take him for everything he's worth. So to not leave a paper trail to himself, he begs these women for money to help him escape. He's able to really convince them by recycling pictures of himself bleeding and like his bodyguard injured. And so the women definitely buy into it the whole time. So much so that some of them take out huge loans, max out credit cards, and loan him money that they don't have, while he has no intent to ever pay them back. And when you watch the documentary, you find out like who this guy really is. And they have interviews with all these women that he tricked the entire time. And it's fucking wild. Like, I can't believe anybody bought this.
It reminds me, I have a buddy who, he would always try to convince his girlfriend that everything that was being told about him was a lie, but it was the truth. And he would go to extreme lengths to like prove the things he said in his head. And I was like, dude, man, like, and she believed him. And I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
what the?
That is so
Are you
unfair
doing?
because then she's feeling crazy
Oh,
and he's making her feel crazy for no reason.
Yeah.
oh.
It's literally like those emails, like, I'm an Arabic prince and I need to put my money in your bank account.
Wait, that's not real?
Like, I think
He's
the
out
thing
10K.
Thought he loved
you
me.
said, so he's from a Russian Arabic.
No, a Russian Israeli diamond mogul. He's the
See,
son
if
of
that's not a
him.
red flag, I don't know what is.
There were plenty of red flags and they just continued to buy them. Like,
Wow.
there's a scene where the woman gets him to fly to like her town or city or whatever, and he like consistently avoids her. And it's like, don't you think that?
Right.
And these are like very
But in the
attractive,
moment-
beautiful, apparently well-off women.
Yeah,
that they're
successful
able-
women.
Yeah. And
But in the moment, they're looking for something. They think he's looking for the same thing. And
Attention.
No, like love. It's a dating
Attention.
site.
It reminds me of that one case you guys did, Belle. Is that right? The girl that had the newspaper and she would like send out and have the guys come and then murder them.
Yeah.
That would,
You
I
know,
can't
I was
Belle
thinking who
Gunness.
put Belle in the
Belle
witch.
Guinness. Yeah, Belle
Belle
Guinness.
Gunness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holtz.
Yeah. Reminds me of that.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
What about that one documentary that's about that vegan woman? Have you watched that one? I think it's just called
I
The
haven't
Vegan.
watched that one.
Is
Bad
Is
Vegan.
it Bad Vegan?
Bad Vegan. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
I haven't
Have you
watched
watched
that. Nope, not yet. It's on the
You
list.
should. It's good.
It's on the list.
It's good.
It's on the list.
Crazy shit.
So number 4 is Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey. And Keep Sweet is a mini docuseries that was released in June of 2022. Literally, as soon as it came out, I was like, click, watching, because I'm super into learning about religions, especially the FLDS. So it covers the story of the polygamous religious cult, the FLDS, which are, here you go, Ashlee. You ready for this mouthful?
Wait,
Ah,
you're not going to.
That's what she said.
You're not going to spoil it by the end, are you? By the end of
No,
your paragraph?
no.
Okay. Okay.
It's the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
That
That's
sounds
what FLDS
perfectly
means.
logical.
Jesus Christ, Latter-day Saints.
I'm in.
Yes. And it's particularly focusing on the Jeffs and Warren Jeffs. And throughout the film, you see interviews with women that were once in FLDS under the Jeffs. And they were often married off when they were like 12 or 13 years old to men that were 40 to 60 years old. These women share their experiences and how they were able to escape not only Warren Jeffs and his tyranny, but also how they escaped the FLDS and what that meant for them. So it's a very, very good, very good
Sweet.
documentary. Yeah, Keep
I'll have
Sweet.
to watch that. What was the one? There was one. It was like a religious one. Wait, we can talk about this one. I'm sorry. It put a light bulb in my head for another documentary. That
Are you
I
talking about the
watched.
one about Christianity with all the children that gave? That's a really
No,
good documentary.
It was like a weird cult church thing. It was like I don't think it was. It wasn't the weight loss one. I don't think. But like there was a family trying to get their daughter out of it, but she's engaged and getting married to one of the members. And so she's like full in.
I don't.
Oh, that's gonna
recall.
drive me crazy until I figure it out. Okay.
It's a short
We can-
drive.
yeah. we can do
But
that.
yeah, that story is all kinds of messed up, and it just goes to show that, because the first thing is my always thing is like, how do they not think this is weird? But it's the conditioning.
Right?
It's the conditioning, literally from birth.
Yep.
And it's just like, this
Right.
is normal. This is okay.
You don't
This
know
is
any
what-
different.
Like, this is the only way to get to heaven, and this is what I have to do. And it's like, what the no.
Well, and they
like-
have like these approved hairstyles. Like you can only wear these
Oh my gosh.
like 4 hairstyles, and they show you like how
Oh,
they were
yeah.
the
Let me guess. It was just the women. The men could wear their hair however
oh yeah
they wanted.
the women could only wear certain colors, and their dresses could only look a certain like we're
They-
thinking 90s style dresses from what is it, 18 Kids and Counting. They're part of
Duggars.
The
FLDS.
Duggars?
Yeah, the Duggars.
Ugh.
They're like
that's-
a FLDS /
Quiverful. Psychos.
So one Christmas, Sarah's grandparents gave me a gift card, and on the envelope it came in, they spelled my name Duggar.
Oh my god.
How did they do
So
that?
I'm like, I have no clue. Not a clue.
That's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say if you haven't seen that one yet, it's crazy.
I
yeah.
texted it to myself.
Everything that they do and believe is I just
cannot
don't
believe so.
I've
I
never
don't
heard of
get
it.
it. It just doesn't make sense. But then again, I wasn't conditioned and brainwashed in it. I mean, at what point in time do you start realizing that this dude starts kicking out all the smart men in the group,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, "Oh, that's not weird. That's okay."
Warren Jeffs had how many wives? Like 60 something wives.
It
was an insane amount. It was an insane amount. And like
Because
the
they
one girl talks about when she was to be married off to Warren, or no, it wasn't Warren, it was his dad.
his dad, yeah.
And she like would convince him to go to sleep every night. So she didn't have to have sex with him because he was like 90 years old and he wanted her. There would be a line of girls outside of his door.
Yeah, they explain that, and I was just thinking, so I look over to my wife, is like, "Hey, would you be okay if there were that many just right out the door?"
I hope she slapped you. Right in your
I
mouth.
didn't get a good response.
Good for her.
So, just how they take advantage, how they're still taking advantage of.
Oh yeah.
It's
The money.
It's hard. Oh my god.
Their tithing that they have, that's
How did
literally
they-
like their whole paychecks.
How do they not realize, like, when he got busted and how do they keep that a secret? And then
Mhm.
it shows up.
It's
and
like
they
cognitive
still believe
dissonance.
them.
You can't they're so invested in it. You just reject that new information because it blows your whole world up and you can't handle that.
Yeah, too
It's
many things will
literally
fall apart.
yeah.
If it
Well,
looks
and he
like a
has
duck,
them-
it
Yeah.
talks like a duck. It flies like a
Not
duck.
if you've always been told it's
a
an
goose.
eagle.
It's a good.
I guess that's a good point. If you've been told that it's a camel, then you will always believe that that is a camel.
Mhm.
Well, I said eagle, but no.
I just wanted to go with a little bit more extreme.
Yeah, I
extreme
mean, you're
thing
right.
out there.
And it's like you just can't handle that new information. That means that your whole life is a lie,
It's the way your brain
You just
protects
can't cope.
Yeah.
itself.
especially being in a confined environment like that.
Mhm. Well, and he's
Makes it
convinced all
worse.
of them that he's God, and his
Oh,
dad
God.
was
Yeah,
God.
Oh my
and
gosh.
his
that-
dad had like a fucking shit ton of kids, and
Oh, and these people are going to try to tell you that we're not, and they're going to try to break us all down, and they're going to try to dismantle us. Yeah.
The craziest thing is when they were kicking out the men, that their wives, the kicked out men's wives were being remarried to other people. And I'm like, what is going on?
and then those men that they married, their kids from the previous marriage were told that's not your dad. This is actually your dad.
Yeah, this
You're
is
not
your-
allowed
this
to
is your
call
new
that
dad.
one.
Fucked. You
Yeah.
cannot do that.
It's a messed up. So yeah, if you haven't watched it, watch it.
for sure.
Okay, what's the next one?
All right, number 3 is The Keepers. So
Oh my.
yeah, The Keepers was released on Netflix in 2017, and this is another docuseries that follows the entire story of the death of Sister Catherine Sesnick, who was a nun, and she was murdered in 1969. So throughout the documentary, students, coworkers, and other people who were tied to Sister Catherine are interviewed and why they believe that she was murdered. Come to find out, Sister Catherine may have been murdered because she had suspicions that the priest at the Catholic school that she was a teacher at, he was molesting countless numbers of girls. And it's a really messed up story, but the documentary was done so well that it was one of my favorite. I cried. I just
I
bawled.
cried a lot too during that one. That one was
Anger.
crazy.
I just get anger. I just want to get even because I'm not an eye for an eye guy. I am an eye for your eye, your nose,
I'm not an
your
eye for an eye guy.
throat,
I'm an eye for your eye.
your nose,
It's
your
more
throat.
exaggerated.
I will take more than you took.
Oh, that's funny.
As you
Blood
should.
for
Yeah,
blood.
that. Never mind.
Ugh.
I don't even want to go into it.
That story. I mean, and that's at a school. Like,
Oh,
it's a- and I-
90% of molestation happens within the church.
I,
No questions asked.
it's
90?
just
90%.
All right.
that's.
Are you fact checking us, Jeremy?
Not at all.
He just believes us.
Fact check me. I don't give a beep.
just that story was I think the reason it broke my heart because she was trying to do so much good
Yeah.
Mhm.
in the situation that she was in because she knew she was not in a safe environment,
Yep.
a good environment, and she still stuck it out for the other girls that were
Mhm.
there going through it. And
Well, and learning that they like kept him within the church just moved him to a different
That they do
parsonage.
that constantly.
They always
Oh my
do.
They do that
gosh.
constantly. Not our problem, their problem.
Yep.
Don't go to prison or anything. Don't file police charges.
Mhm. Messed
Fucking
up.
stupid.
So,
Sorry.
no, you're fine. Number
No, you're fine.
2 is There's Something Wrong with Aunt Diane. Has anybody watched this one?
Yeah,
I don't
I've seen
think
it.
so.
You've seen this one?
You haven't seen it? You'd like
Oh
it.
boy.
It's a
This
good one.
documentary is available on HBO and it originally aired in 2011. So it's kind of an older one.
Okay.
Oh,
it-
really?
Yeah. It breaks down the story and events that went on before and during the 2009 Taconic State Parkway accident in Mount Pleasant, New York. And the crash killed 8 people, including Diane Schuyler, Schuler.
I think
Maybe
it's Schuler.
It looks like
I think
Schuyler.
it's Schuler.
Schuler.
Skywalker.
She was shout out to Skywalker. But she was the driver. And then it killed her daughter and her nieces. And then it killed 3 other people that were driving the SUV that she hit head on. The crash gained national attention, and unfortunately, it was due to suspected drunk driving and the use of THC. But Diane's husband denied that his wife ever abused substances. It was really out of character for her, allegedly, which is a large premise of the documentary. They break down other reasons as to why Diane could have crashed, like mental health reasons, health reasons. They go through like the entire timeline of what could have happened. They even talk about this disease where your body creates alcohol. And it's just really interesting to see them completely dissect this entire accident and try to figure out the cause of it.
Right. That's why I like the title of this one so much. They don't know, but they just know something was up, like something was not right.
Yeah.
Is that still on HBO?
Yes, it is.
Watch it. It's really good. You'll like it.
All right.
Colton's making a list.
He's shaking it twice.
Yeah.
I've watched everything, but I did text myself that sweet one.
Keep sweet.
Keep sweet.
So I really like documentaries. I watch documentaries all the time. And I really like ones that make me feel something, like make me, even if they're like bad feelings, I guess, like something that just like moves emotions in me. Because I guess I'm like a desert of emotions.
Right.
Yeah. So
Dry, cry. You take the rhyming word there.
My number one documentary has haunted me for years. And I'm going to tell you a story about this documentary. And then I want you to go watch the documentary. And
Gunner.
Yeah, for real. If you watch any documentary, watch this one and then tell me how much you hate me.
Watch it.
So this documentary is called Dear Zachary, a letter to a son about his father. Oh boy. So
Wait,
this documentary, what?
What's the name of it?
That's a Fall Out Boy song.
Dear,
Yeah, I was gonna say. Her lawyers made us change the name of this song.
No, it is. You've got to watch it.
Colton,
It's
have you
really
watched this
good.
one?
It's really
No,
It was on Netflix a really
He's
long
literally
time
writing
ago.
it down right now.
Yeah, Dear Zachary, a letter to a son about his father, and you have a son, so this one
All you
might.
gotta- Sorry.
This one might.
so
Yeah, all you got to type is Dear Zachary. You'll find it.
Yeah.
Side note, I do have a letter to my son. When my mom passed away at an early age, in my opinion, and when he was born, it was one of the first things I did was write him a letter that hopefully I get to give to him at his graduation. So
Oh, now we're all gonna cry.
Write one every
Make
few
a
years too.
tearjerker.
Update them, I would say.
Mhm.
If I was your son, that's what I would want, is what I'm saying.
I don't know if he'll appreciate it or understand it as much as I would, but I
He
just
will.
hope to give to him. I just hope to give it to him.
He will eventually.
So I'm
Alicia's about in tears.
if
right
you're
now.
saying if you're saying it's kind of like that, like I don't know if I can watch this. Like just,
It's intense.
oh, okay, let's
intense.
hear it. I'm all ears.
This was like one of the very first true crime documentaries that I ever watched. And I watched it back in 2013 when I worked nights at a liquor store. And so when it was slow and I had like caught up on my work, I would just sit.
Gunner's face when you said you worked at a liquor store. I was
Yeah, I worked there for like 4 years.
Sorry.
A long time.
did
4
not
years
mean
too
to
long.
So when I had my work caught up, it was slow. I was allowed to kind of just have my free time. And I decided to watch this documentary, not knowing that it would literally ruin my life. I sobbed all night long, and customers had like came in and they're like, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" And I'd be like, "I love this movie." So now I'm gonna ruin your guys' lives too. This documentary is about Andrew Bagby. It was created by Andrew's lifelong best friend, Kurt Kuehn, I think is how you pronounce it. And I have to note that Kurt did this entire film by himself. He wrote, directed, produced, edited. He did literally everything on his own. And he did an incredible job because you really feel like you know Andrew when you watch this movie. Originally from California, Andrew was studying to become a surgeon in Newfoundland. And while finishing up medical school, Andrew started seeing a woman named Shirley Turner. Shirley was 13 years older than Andrew and had been married and divorced twice. She also had several children that for some reason she didn't have custody of. But Andrew's family and friends did not like Shirley at all and felt so uneasy about her. Andrew graduated medical school. He moved to New York to work as a surgical resident. And then Shirley moved to Iowa for work in medicine as well. And they tried to maintain a long distance relationship, but Andrew discovered that maybe surgery wasn't his thing. So he decided to work at a family practice in Pennsylvania. Throughout their entire relationship, which wasn't very long, maybe a year or two, Shirley became more and more possessive of Andrew. And Andrew never really intended it to be this serious. Shirley was kind of just like a hookup for him, something casual, like he wasn't wanting to make this long term. But Shirley became obsessed with him. On a trip to visit Andrew in Pennsylvania in November of 2001, Shirley arrived and Andrew broke up with her because it just wasn't working out. It was long term. And like I said, he didn't intend for this to be very long, like a big thing. So she flew back to Iowa after they broke up. And then she immediately turned around and drove the 1,000 miles back to Pennsylvania as soon as she landed. She wanted to talk to him about what had happened because she just couldn't accept that he had broken up with her. They were set to meet at Keystone National Park. And the morning after their suspected meeting, Andrew was found dead from 5 gunshots in the park. And Shirley immediately fled back to Newfoundland, where she was from. So at this point, this is where Kurt started collecting footage from Andrew's parents, his childhood with Andrew, and basically anything that he could get. He knew that he wanted to make this documentary because he and Andrew grew up making movies together for fun. And Kurt started filming the entire process of the court hearings, interviews with parents, family, friends, everything to give to his son, Zachary, as this is the memory of how I remember your dad, how your parents remember your dad, everything. So when this happened, in December of 2001, a month after Andrew was discovered dead, Shirley was arrested for his murder. But since she left to another country, they had to maneuver through the Canadian court system to be able to get her extradited back to the US and tried. During her initial court appearance in Canada, this is when Shirley announced to everybody that she was pregnant with Andrew's baby, which is Zachary. So she was released on bail somehow. I'm assuming it's because she didn't commit the murder in Canada, so she couldn't be held. But during the court process in Canada, which was dragged out due to technicalities, Shirley gave birth on July 18th of 2002. And that was the baby boy that she named Zachary, who looked exactly like Andrew. Like it was basically, they were showing baby pictures of Andrew and then showed baby pictures of Zach, and they were like the same person. It was shocking. So finding out by DNA that Zach was Andrew's son, Andrew's parents moved to Canada so that they could have a relationship with their grandchild and potentially gain custody of him when Shirley is tried and sent back to the US. So Shirley works with them the entire time to see Zachary so they can have a relationship with them. But it's kind of like really possessive and chaotic. They follow her rules because they're banking on her being arrested for Andrew's murder and them officially getting custody of Zachary. So in November of 2002, the Canadian court believes there's enough evidence in provincial court that proves Shirley murdered Andrew. So she's arrested. And then Andrew's parents are awarded custody of Zachary. But this is where it gets kind of crazy. By January in 2003, Shirley discovered that she could write to the judge, which was Judge Gail Welsh. Fuck her. I wasn't going to include her name, but she can suck my ass because I am so mad at her. Sorry, everyone. So she wanted to.
Don't
There's been a lot of
apologize.
ass sucking around.
Don't apologize. That's been my favorite part so far.
So she wrote the judge on how that she could appeal her case. And when she got the advice from the judge, she appealed the imprisonment and was released on bail due to not being a threat to society, quote unquote. This meant that Andrew's parents had to give Zachary back to Shirley, which they did, and thankfully were able to still maintain a really good relationship with him. Kurt was even able to meet Zachary when he turned 1 in July of 2003. So he's included in the documentary, like Kurt meeting him. On August 18th of 2003, exactly 1 month after Zachary turned 1 year old, Shirley strapped her 13-month-old son to her and jumped into the Atlantic Ocean in a murder-suicide. Knowing Kurt was actively recording this documentary while this tragic turn of events happened, you can literally feel the emotions coming through the film, and it's just gut-wrenching. Andrew's family was obviously outraged by how the Canadian justice system failed their grandson and allowed this to happen by allowing Shirley to petition bail several times, even when she was being suspected of murder. So they began a campaign to get laws changed. And in 2006, the Canadian Ministry of Justice concluded that Zachary's death could have been prevented, that it was handled inadequately by the government. Shirley's therapist was charged with misconduct because they helped her post bail, and the head of child welfare in Newfoundland was forced to resign. As part of the campaign to gain federal bail laws, to change federal bail laws so that nothing like this happens again, Kurt sent a copy of Dear Zachary to each of the over 400 members of Canada's parliament. On October 23rd, 2009, member of the parliament, Scott Andrews of Avalon, was so moved by the film that he introduced Bill C-464, also known as Zachary's Bill, to the House of Commons of Canada. The goal of the bill was to protect children and force judicial decision makers to keep the safety of children in mind during bail hearings and in custody disputes, particularly when a child is in the custody of someone who's been charged with a serious crime, like murder. The bill was introduced to the Senate of Canada in March of 2010 and officially signed into law on December 16th, 2010, over 7 years after Zach was murdered. So obviously these cases are horrible, but the storytelling is just so well done, and it keeps you invested and interested. And these are by far my 5 favorite true crime documentaries.
That one's fucked up.
Hey.
So let me take something very important away from this, and Colton, would really like you to chime in on this. I lost my father back in 1991. Now, obviously, I didn't know how the story was ending. So my thought process at this time is what a great idea to have that stuff to pass on to him so he can remember his dad. I didn't have a ton of that stuff. There's a few wrestling videos, and I just came across the last couple of years some actual old Christmas videos from the early 80s that have my father in it. Now, we didn't always have the greatest relationship towards the end. I mean, it was what it was, but it was something that caught my thought process later on. So I always tried to make sure that I collected anything that I ever have done. And it kind of goes with your letter to your son. I just collected all my videos and all the crazy shit that I've ever done. And it's in one spot on an external hard drive that I can leave for my children. So when I am gone, they can have that stuff to remember me by, which I always thought was kind of cool. So when you were talking about that, that's what came to me, was like, that is so cool that he has all that he was going to pass on to his boy. Now, obviously it didn't turn out very well in the end, but I mean, do you have things from your mom, Colton, that you get to see or hear or keep, or is it kind of like me where it just, there's not a lot out there?
There's a couple things I've kept. You could say I've stolen them. I have also said if anybody wants anything, they're more than welcome to come and try and take it. And there's stuff that I don't want to say aloud, but I know there's stuff that my sisters have. I know there's stuff that my dad has. My mom didn't really, she was more of a memory person, doing stuff,
right,
that kind of stuff. So, like this trip to Tennessee that when this airs, we will have taken. We did that every year, probably for once or twice a year. It felt like during elementary, junior high days, like it's just what we did.
Right.
So I would say more about experiences. And I have some pictures that do mean a lot to me. Like the background on my phone has been the same picture since my mom's viewing. It's hasn't been easy. I don't know, and mine's only been 7 years. I can only imagine. I mean, 91. That's what is that? 31 years now.
Something like that. Yeah, it's been a long time.
So I don't know. I don't know when it starts to get better or if it ever gets better. But the one thing I do want to do is have something that I could pass on to them, that not only do my actions speak of my mom, but they also have something that reminds them and knows who she was.
Right.
May I?
Yeah, you
Yep.
can talk.
Okay. Well, my mother's still around, thank God. But I was raised by my grandparents, and my grandma passed away in a car accident 17 years ago. It'll be 17 years in October. And I was 12 at the time. And so like that was my mom. And I'm lucky enough that my grandpa always had a camcorder glued to his face in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I have a lot of, and I guess the early 90s, I have a lot of DVDs because my aunt transferred them from VHS to DVD. And I'm fortunate. I think we've got about 12 DVDs of just tape after tape after tape after tape, probably from 1992 to 99 would be my best guess. So I'm very fortunate to have that because my grandma was a mad woman, and it's really funny to watch.
She was the best. I think we all, this day and age, are pretty lucky that we have that access immediately in our hands to make videos of our kids, of our parents or family members. Like we always can have, and that's something that's also stressful, because I think about myself and I don't get a lot of pictures with my kids. I don't get a lot of videos with my kids because I'm always taking pictures of them or videos of them. And it's kind of stinks because I think we forget that we have this access. We need to take advantage of it.
But see, now Bobby gets after me about that.
Yeah.
Because she's always the one taking the pictures. She's like, will you take my picture with the grandkids?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have a lot of pictures with the unless she's doing a selfie or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. All my pictures with my kids are pretty much selfies.
Yeah.
Like how many pictures do you have of you and Bobby and the grandkids, all of you together?
Just the professional ones that we had taken, pretty much. I don't think there's there might be a few. There might be a few that Jess has around, you know, or the four of us are together, but yeah, not really a lot, because that is how that goes. I mean, my brain don't work that way. I'm sorry. I try to think about it when I see her holding them or they're doing something together to take a picture, you know? So,
that's one thing. My grandpa, he's not in like any of those videos unless one of us takes it and turns it on him.
Right.
He's not in a lot.
Shout out to Larry.
What up, Larry?
I totally want to meet Larry.
Larry's the best.
He's a cool mamma jamma. Lawrence Lippa.
Love him. So yeah.
Good list.
Hope I didn't bum you out, guys. That's too bad.
But-
Sorry.
That was a bummer. I wish I would have read my whole list.
Anyways,
Too
Ashley,
late.
Colton, thank you for sharing. And of course, great list, Alicia.
Thanks.
Gunner, you're doing a great job holding the fort down.
Oh yeah, I'm just hanging out, making funny faces. doing all
I
that
wanna
stuff.
call guys hat.
episode ever.
Trying not to cry.
I know, right? I might have got a little weepy eyed when Colton was talking. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Alicia, Ashlee, are you ready to do this little segment we're gonna call 5-Minute Murder?
Nope.
We picked our number one and we read a longer story. That was her.
That was her
her
5-minute murder?
minutes.
That was the 5-minute
Oh.
murder. That was great.
Well,
That was-
okay.
We should have spoken in person.
We should
That's
have
okay.
because it didn't translate.
It
well
did not
enough.
work.
We're
okay.
good. We're
That's
good.
okay.
See,
Hit him
that's why I skipped my whole Ed Kemper thing. Or
Hit him with
Ed
the-
Kemper. See, now I'm getting it mixed up.
Okay.
Hit
So
him with the
5-minute
last
murder.
one. Hit him with the last one. brother.
Okay, we're gonna do this then. As we do
Are
with
you
all of
asking
our
me?
as we do with all of
Both.
our guests.
Both.
As we do with all of our guests on the Call Guys, we go back to an episode that we've done before and we ask a question
Oh,
from one of
And
those episodes.
the emperor's in on this, right?
He is, yes.
Okay.
So our last episode was our top 3 bands. So our question to you is what are your top 3 favorite bands of all time?
Of all
Go.
time.
All time.
Yes.
How do you even answer a question like
It's
that?
hard. It's hard.
So
It
I
is
asked,
hard.
I just asked this question to a guy at work, and he responded with, "I would put Guns N' Roses in there, but Axl Rose is a real penis." And I just lost it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Do you know yours or no?
Yeah.
Okay, you go first because I need a second.
Start from
I'll
3.
go Alicia, Emperor, Ashlee. That way she gets a minute.
Yeah, start from 3 and go to 1.
Yep.
I know my one, but okay. My number 3 is Sublime. I love Sublime.
Oh wow.
I love
That come
Sublime.
out of
Yeah.
nowhere. I didn't
love
know that.
Sublime.
I love Sublime.
My number 2 is
Makes you cry.
Does it make you cry?
Does it make you cry?
I'd go hard on that one.
Yeah, I'd die on that hill while you're at it.
So I'm like working for content for the opening. You just got to go for it.
Yeah. Number 2.
Number 2. Number 2 is Everclear.
Ooh,
I love
sneaky.
Everclear.
Did
Love
they sing that song? It's
Everclear.
like, oh wait, can I sing it?
Yeah, sure.
We sing.
Everything is wonderful.
Yeah,
That's a
wonderful.
great
Yeah.
song.
And my number 1 favorite all-time band, I'm gonna see if Ashlee can guess it because I know she's gotta guess it. This has been my favorite band since
Fall Out Boy.
It's Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy is my favorite
Easy.
band.
Easy.
That's right. That's a good band.
Colton loves himself some Fall Out Boy too.
Love me some Fallout Boy.
That's been my favorite band since I was probably 11, 12.
You got a
years
favorite
old.
album?
From Under the Cork Tree.
Oh yeah, that's classic. It's
Yeah,
classic.
I do like all their albums though. They all sound different, and I really like them for that reason.
From Under the Cork Tree's the best one though.
Yeah,
For sure.
like Weekend Out with Your Girlfriend was really good. And what's the Blue album?
Oh,
It's probably long.
You're talking about Weezer? No.
They had a song on. Didn't that have a song on like Rocksmith or something like that? Or
On Rocksmith. What the hell is Rocksmith?
I don't know what that is.
it's a
guitar learning
It's a guitar
game.
learning
Ah.
game.
Oh,
That's why you don't know that.
Yeah.
Guitar Hero. Yes.
Oh, of course.
We can slop on some
I
Guitar
know
Hero.
exactly how to play guitar because Guitar Hero.
There you
Emperor.
That's all you need.
go.
Top
You
3
know, okay, let me I've thought about this and with a little help from old Chico Noise there. I'm gonna go with number 3 as Huey Lewis in the News. I grew up with them, big fan. Still pissed I didn't get a chance to see Huey before he lost his hearing and couldn't tour no more. So I'm gonna go with Huey Lewis as my number 3. My number 2, 30 Seconds to Mars. I'm
Ooh,
gonna have to
that's
go
a
with
good
30
one.
seconds.
They're really good.
I am a big fan of Jared Leto, whether it be his
Well, he's a
acting or
crazy
whether it's
person, but-
So you're in
singing.
his cult.
You're in the cult?
No, I don't like the cult.
I am actually. I forgot to mention. I forgot to mention when I
Yeah,
talked
you
about
did.
30
Joined
Seconds
his
to Mars
cult.
episode, I have a 30 seconds.
Look at that.
on
Yep.
my chest. So, yeah, big.
But
We can't trust him now.
I should have known. Every time I saw you shirtless, Gunner,
no,
like at the float, and when you
whatever.
played strip pong, I was like, I recognize that symbol.
she did. Wait,
You guys are playing strip pong?
I was the
Gunner
only
was
one
the
that
only one
participated.
Oh. I was like, why don't I get invited to these freaking naked parties? That's not fair.
He was the only one playing strip pong. But I'm like, I know that symbol now. Ding ding ding. Makes
Yep.
sense.
Yep.
But you know,
What a
I have
shame.
a shit ton of honorable mentions, which would be like Blink 182 or
Great. They're
um,
great.
God, I'm really into this new Eden, the Gunner or the Skylar turned me on to. I like Eden. You know, you can always go back to the classics, the Poison, Motley Crue. Of course, you know, Lita Ford and Joan Jett.
He said 3, Gunner. Or
He's
Gunner
doing it.
said
He's doing
3,
it.
Jeremy.
No, my
He said honorable mention.
He
I
said
I
honorable mention.
mentions,
He said
yeah.
honorable mention.
So you know all that. We're Daughtry can be going to there, but so my number 1. You just want to go ahead and say it for me, Gunner?
It's Flicker Stick.
You know
Flocker
it's
stock.
It's Flicker Stick.
I
Oh.
say it like that too. Fluker
And you
Stoop.
that's awesome. That's perfect then.
It's Flicker Stick. Flicker Stick, I've been listening to them for over 20 years, and I still listen to them like every day, even though they've been broke up for the last 18 years. I still listen
They
to them
got back
every day.
together though.
They are
and you got
back
to see
together.
'em.
Went to the reunion show, drove 1,000 miles to go see them. I'd do it again.
And I do it again.
All right. Ashlee,
So this
you're
is
up.
really hard for me. Alicia knows this about me, but I don't
Super indecisive.
I don't pick favorites. I like a lot of shit, and I like a lot of shit for a lot of different reasons.
That's okay.
But I will give you my top 3. This is unofficial because it's probably going to change tomorrow. But my number 3 would probably be Deer Tick. Yep, everybody loves Deer Tick. Woo! For Deer Tick.
A good number 3.
They're
It's
really
solid.
they're a really
like
great band.
Rob
Um,
Deerdick.
No, Deer Tick. Two
Oh, you
separate
said
words.
Tick. I thought you
Oh.
said
Deer.
dick.
No, I did not say dick, Jeremy. Deer Tick.
Get the dick out of your brain, Jeremy.
They're a great band, and you should listen to them.
Okay.
My number 2 would be The Doors. I love The Doors.
Love Jim Morrison.
I worship that band. I listen to it constantly. That's actually one of my it's on my bucket list is to see The Doors live. So I'm gonna die unhappy eventually because you can't do that.
Not if they create time travel, right, Colton?
What? Well, then it's already created. If it was created, it already is.
Find
Mind fuck.
somebody.
My number 1 has got to be Creedence Clearwater Revival. That's my favorite band of all time.
Well, CCR, okay.
CCR. That was my grandma's favorite band. I grew up listening to them and like Bob Seger and all that. And CCR is just like really like awesome. Fucking rock on, you know? Sorry.
Nice.
I like it. I like it.
So that's mine. I have a lot of
Great
my
list.
olden days, you know.
Yeah, I want to hear your top 6. I want to hear.
I can talk all day about music.
I want to
Don't-
hear 3
Lot of
honorable
few.
mentions. I knew a lot.
a lot of disputes and honorable mention only because it's like super sad now. Like I'm not that sad anymore.
Yeah, that's
You
how I feel
know?
about Bright Eyes. I loved Bright
Oh,
Eyes my
yeah,
entire
Bright
life,
Eyes.
and now I'm like,
Yes, it's
not depressed.
Fucking
So
depressing.
as
I don't
much.
want to be that sad. It's like people who listen to like radio rock. It's like, ugh, it's so fucking. Sorry, I'm dropping a lot of f bombs,
I really like Bare
Okay.
Naked Ladies. That's one of my favorite bands too.
dude.
That's why-
Smash Mouth, and I know it's like a thing. Smash Mouth is good too.
I mean, I love Nickelback.
Like really good.
That's a thing.
They have
too,
a song
so-
called "Sorry About Your Penis." It's really funny. It's about driving a big truck and having a little dick.
Well, I never thought about even mentioning like Bowling for Soup. Like
Yeah,
I love
Bowling for
Bowling
Soup's so good.
So good.
Love
So
Bowling
good.
for Soup.
Are we holding hands?
Hey, you know what Gunner didn't mention in his honorable
Hey,
mention?
you can stop because I want this episode was recorded at the same time that we recorded the episode before this. So don't even say it because I mentioned it in episode.
All right, I'll let it go. I'll let it go.
You can get over it.
Well, see, now we want to know.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you off air.
Yeah,
How's
tell
that?
us
Okay.
All right, and then you can listen to Monday's edition of the Call Guys, and
which
then
is-
you'll know.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
So good. So good.
Did you go see it?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I don't.
Oh wait, I did know you went.
Yeah, whatever.
What? I didn't say anything.
I know you didn't, but I can just see it.
Colton
What,
hated
you don't
it.
like it? You don't like Thor?
I didn't say I didn't. I didn't say I hated it.
Oh wait,
listen-
I know
listen to
exactly
episode
what
eight.
Colton's
listened.
thinking.
I
know
listened-
exactly
Let's
what
hear
he's
it.
thinking.
Let's hear it.
Colton's thinking they're not taking Thor as serious as they should. They're making him like a big joke and making him like an anomaly of himself.
Wait.
Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if that was a
That
very
was
good impression.
that was a
of it.
side point, not my main point.
What's your main point?
No, you got to listen to
Listen
the
to
Call
episode-
Guys.
listen to the next
No.
episode.
Is that episode dropped already as of right now in real life?
No,
No, it.
No.
I could have swore I listened to that already.
Podcast is weird.
It is weird, it's weird.
Timing's weird.
It is
Get in the
weird.
DeLorean, fuel it up. We're going back in
the
time.
screen.
Number one dream car, DeLorean.
Oh yeah, 100%. Have you
For
seen the new
sure.
one? Have you seen the new one?
The new
Look
what?
up a
The new,
picture. Look up a
the
picture.
new DeLorean?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Jesus, just swallow that.
They
up-
made a new DeLorean? I didn't mean to, and I apologize to the microphone.
Yeah,
Sorry.
look at- look
at
buy
Mike.
it. Buy it supper next time. Jesus.
All right, guys. This is a long episode.
That's all right.
Hey, did we
No.
kick Chris and Nick's ass as far as time?
I think it's
Hell
gonna be real
yeah.
close. So they're just gonna have to compete for a longer one now. So
Oh, they will.
Wow.
They will.
yeah. All right.
Challenge
so
accepted.
let's close it out. I really want to thank you guys. This has been a blast.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a very gracious host.
Yes.
I'm excited to see how it goes for both of us, because I know you guys are gonna post this on yours too. So it's kind of a mixture of the two of us. That's why we wanted to do the whole thing where you guys talk about a story and all that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Sorry,
Well, and
sorry
it
that
ju-
got lost.
We talk
it's
about
okay.
you guys at the end of every episode, and this is and Murdnerds are gonna listen to this and be like, "Oh my gosh, like I like these guys. They're funny. They're
I hope so.
So
Vice
yeah.
versa.
mhm.
Vice versa. I mean, that's what it's all about. This umbrella is shielding us all from the rain.
Dun, 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 dun,
You're
dun,
so
yeah, no,
welcome.
I really do.
I
I was. This has been in the works for a while, and I'm glad we were finally able to make it
Oh
happen.
my gosh.
Mhm.
Yeah, I literally at the end was like, there may be at the end of Murdnerds, I'm sure you've heard, there may
Yeah.
be a crossover with the Call Guys. We just don't know when.
Yeah.
And then I could finally say on episode 30, I'm like, we have a date. We have
Yeah.
a date with the Call Guys.
Right. And the first time she announced it on air, I didn't even know. I was like,
Yeah.
wait, what? What's
Yeah.
happening? She's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I'd never even told you.
Yeah.
We're doing this. I was like, oh, cool.
I think
That was
Gunner
on
in
the
studio
Facebook
that night.
Live. That was on the Facebook Live.
Oh,
because
that's
I
right.
was
Oh,
there.
was it on?
Yep.
So it was legitimately live.
God,
Yeah.
that was how many months ago? So many.
Yeah. See, we've had this in the works for so long. So
And
Wow.
it turned out great.
Mhm.
You did a good job.
So fun. So fun. All right. So everybody, thank you for listening to the Call Guys / the Murdnerds podcast. Whoever is listening out there, thank you so much for listening. You can check out the Call Guys wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, anywhere you get your podcasts. You can also watch us on YouTube. Just go search for the Call Guys podcast on YouTube. Please like and subscribe.
Rape me in the mouth.
You can get us on all your favorite social media accounts on Facebook at facebook.com/thecallguyspod, Instagram at thecallguys, and TikTok at thecallguyspodcast. Please be sure to send us all your recommendations for the questions of the podcast, ideas for future episodes, and send us your top 10s, top 5s, top 3s to thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com. And go check out our merch store, thecallguyspodcaststore.com.
What is that
And
face?
I am gonna let all of the other hosts of every other podcast take us out on their own podcast. So
Oh,
Golden Image
crisscross.
Podcast, let's hear it.
Oh wait, does that
That's
mean
you.
That's
Golden-
you.
Why does it say Golden Image Radio? Radio.
Always
Old
said
school, vintage. He's vintage, bro.
That is old vintage. So check out Golden Image Podcast. We go on adventures so that you'll want to go on adventures.
You almost said so that you don't have to. That is your fault. That is her fault.
Yeah, and it is not the Blair Witch, it was the Bell Witch. Thank you so much.
That's right.
Gotta love it. We got some great stuff coming up on Golden Image Podcast. We got
course.
some guests. We got some really cool venues. We're going to be talking about Dallas soon. So
Yeah.
And some vacations. Somebody's going on vacation in a few weeks also. So we'll have an episode on that.
Facebook.com/Golden Image Podcast, anywhere you get your podcast. How about the
What was that?
Murdnerds?
Go ahead, Ashley.
That was weird that you didn't even move when I did that. Just want you to know. For
The best signage ever.
I really appreciate that. Go Hoosiers. I mean, we cover true crime, anything weird, whatever we want to talk about. Everything.
So you don't have to.
So you don't have to. Yeah, we've got a pretty good.
She's really good on the fly, guys.
I
I
am.
guess. Oh my
Well, I
goodness,
was
this is
expecting
good.
to have to do this because we always have Jeremy do it and
I
then
wrote
take you guys out and then be done with it.
I wrote in my notes the Murdnerds, Ashlee and Alicia to talk about.
You go better, faster.
You go better.
You go
Yeah.
better.
I have to pee so
I
bad.
also have to pee. I was gonna have you do Murdnerds so that I could do two-stop.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
no, yeah. We can do two-stop too.
I already talked about it.
You
We're
want me to
good.
do both of them?
Well,
Yeah,
I
give
did
us
it.
your
I did
socials.
it. I did fine.
The Murdnerds is a true crime podcast hosted by Ashlee and I, and we're kind of just stupid about
Thanks.
it. We take the story seriously, but we also talk about dumb stuff throughout the entire thing. We were only doing Indiana, now we're doing the whole wide world, where we're covering weird, unsolved, missing people's cases, any kind of true crime that's interesting and kind of caught our noggin. So that's Murdnerds. And
Facebook.com/Murdnerds. Oh, you thought you guys would do it with me. They didn't.
no,
Murdnerds.
There we go.
Myrtle Nurdles. Colton's.
I love
Side
these
is so
signs. These
professional.
are awesome.
Wait till you see the last one.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh no.
So Jeremy and I do a podcast called The United States of Paranormal, and it's kind of weird because there's Jeremy and I that do an episode a week, and then the next week we have Team Tejas, and they're in Texas, and it's Logan, Matt, and Bose, and they do a case. So every other week we're doing different stories. If you like cryptids, if you like paranormal, if you like oogie boogie scary, I don't know, whatever you like when it comes to paranormal and spooky, that's what we cover on that one. So
And let me
paranormal.
let me say this for the first time. I'm going to talk about this. There could be a crossover between Team Tejas and Team Boozers in the same place.
Ooh.
We'll leave it at
Same
that.
place.
Yeah.
Ooh, exciting. Facebook.com/United States Paranormal.
Ninja that.
All right. What's the last one there, Emperor? What's the last podcast under the
Are you going to tell us
umbrella?
about it? I mean, I did
I want to
mine.
see the sign.
Oh, I mean, I can. The last podcast under the Golden Mojo Entertainment Umbrella is the Indiana
They suck.
Indiana Chiefs Fans Podcast. That is Facebook.com/IN Chiefs Fans Pod. We talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, and we are from Indiana, and we are big fans.
Huge.
Yeah, we are a couple episodes in now, and it's an exciting podcast. It's fun to listen to. A couple of older guys that are been fans for a long time, and then me who sits there and listens to them talk.
Couple old guys, just couple
Couple
old guys. Old farts.
Geezers.
Sit around talking
Hey.
about the cool days of the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's right.
Not just crazy win the Super Bowl shit. We're talking about when we were losers.
Oh.
You guys, do you guys
That's
have
so much fun.
do you guys have anything else you want to add into this podcast? Anything?
Yeah, is that A Knight's Tale?
This.
A Knight's
Movie
Tale,
poster.
I
Invisible.
love that movie.
Bill and Ted,
Yeah.
Bill
Back to
and
the
Ted's
Future,
Excellent Adventure.
The Goonies.
The Goonies,
Duh.
Beverly Hills Cop. That's a look, Rockstar. I'm sorry.
Are those all your favorite movies?
That is
Seven?
seven of my top 10. I have Clerks over in the corner.
Great
over there.
movie.
I haven't put up
Clerks.
yet. And then Big with Tom Hanks.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ooh, that's a good one.
and if I could remember, I would tell you. My gosh, I have two movies that Sarah could not find me posters. She got me these posters for Christmas one year,
Oh, she's the best.
and it's Big and oh my gosh, I'd have to find the paper. I have it somewhere. But yeah, she did that for me, and I
How
figured it'd make
lovely.
a really cool background.
Was it The
Yeah.
Princess Bride? Because
It's
I know
such
we
a-
all
No,
really love
it's
The
not The
Princess
Princess
Bride.
Ooh, I love the Princess.
Marriage.
Marriage.
I really wish I could remember which one it is, but I think it's The Rocker. It's The Rocker.
Oh my God, The Rocker is one of the greatest
The
movies ever.
Rocker.
Yeah.
Oh, that has Teddy Geiger in it, doesn't
Yes,
it?
it
Yes.
is,
That's no longer Teddy Geiger. What's
Yeah,
his
yeah.
name? Her
Uh,
name.
yeah.
I don't know what her name is.
Right up top of my head, I
I'm
couldn't
gonna
tell
I'm
muster
lost.
every ounce of confidence I have.
you.
Great
Oh
song.
my God.
Oh,
For
and
you,
water.
I will. I do
Yeah.
remember that song.
Yep. All right. Nothing, guys.
You did
I-
great. You did great, Murdnerds. Thanks again for joining.
Yep.
Glad. I hope
Thanks
you
for
guys had
having us.
fun.
We did. We had a blast.
Good.
I'm going to speak on your behalf too.
I have to pee really bad. That was a great time.
I do too, so it's okay.
I'm gonna pee outside.
I don't. I guess
I might have to. I might not make it to the house.
All right, everybody. We want to thank you for listening to the Call Guys / Murdnerds podcast, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Leave like a freaking weirdo.